Good afternoon. Well, it's still morning. Good morning, everybody. What is up? Let's wait for everybody to get in here and then let's get things popping today. We got a lot to talk about, as I'm sure everyone knows, right? Um, all right. So if you are joining me, what's up, JJ? Hey, Morpheus. Hello, Deeds. What's up, T? If you are joining me on Facebook or YouTube, make sure that you speak in the comments or I will not know that you are here. What's up, Mama Dukes, Fast Man, Henderson, Miss Henderson, good morning. What's up, Vince? What's up, Dad Jokes? How is everybody? Good morning, Melinda. How are you all? Y'all doing all right? What's up, Jose? Y'all see Titan trying to join Titan, the cat is trying to join the live. Good morning, Brandy. What's up, Mel Gray? Hey, Amy. Good to see you guys. What's up? It went really fast just now. What's up? I'm not sure. Hello, Cat, Whisperer, Titan. Say hi to the people, and then you have to get down, baby. He thinks he's going to join the live today, but he is not. Ooh. Bella, will you give Titan some food for me? Y'all know the cat wants to get in here sometimes when he really, really wants something. What's up, Conchita? Yep, some of the food right there. Good morning, Zoes. How are you? Good morning, Cam. Yeah, you see Titan trying to get in here. What's up, Sexy Sand? How are you? Good to see you guys. Sharita, good to see you. Ooh, no, he didn't start it, but he jumped up here. Yes, ma'am. The rest of it. Yep. Yep, you can give him the rest. You got it. Good job. All right, Lavishly Tiffany. Good morning. How nice to see everybody. Hey, Jen. Good to see you. What's up, Catsmandu? Beach Bum Wannabe. That just went by really fast. So I don't know. Good morning, Mom with Goals. I don't know that I even set a goal today. I didn't. No, I haven't even done that yet. I should probably get on that, shouldn't I? I'm just really excited about today. We do have a guest that's going to join us during the 12 o'clock hour. That is 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. That is Lindley Thorne of Rural Ground Game. So I'm really excited to have her join us. She is a fantastic individual. If you guys don't know her, like she's my people. Just good people. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Witch. Good to see you as well. What's up, Dilgrave? Good morning, everybody. What's up, Feisty? Vashti. Good to see you. Win Dixie. Nice to see you as well. Folks, like I said, if you are joining me on YouTube or Facebook, you have to comment or I don't know that you're there. So make sure that you say hello. What's up, Cheryl? Hey, disappointed voter. Good to see you. Susan. Why are you disappointed, voter? I guess I do want to know that. I think I said hi to Mom with Goals. What's up, Jen Yaya? Good to see you. I think I said hi to Dilgrave. I'm not sure, but I believe that I did. What's up, the other Cheryl? So glad to see you as well. What's up, Carla? Good to see you. All right, folks, we got a lot to talk about today. I am going to have to start with something that's not on the list. What's up, Count On family? Disappointed with MAGA votes. I got you. I hear you. I think, hey, Lydia, I think for me, I'm not disappointed with MAGA votes because I didn't expect MAGA people to vote any different, right? What's up, Donoski? Hey, Kimmy. Like I just didn't, right? So hey, good morning, Shar. Hey, Gregory, good to see you as well. So, folks, I want you all to remember this. When you find yourself and you are feeling disappointed, okay, I want you to remember this very important thing. Hey, Allie Nicole. When you are disappointed, that is an unrealized, that's awesome, Susan. There is an unrealized expectation. Hey, Christine. And so you have to ask yourself, did the people that you had an expectation of agree to that expectation? Exactly, Amy. If they did not agree to the expectation, then your disappointment is of your own making, right? So I'm just saying, good morning, Mom. Good to see you. So just remember that, right? That when you are disappointed in someone, that's an unfilled expectation, and you got to ask yourself, did that person agree to your expectation of them? And if they did not, your disappointment was self-created, and then you can uncreate it as well, right? So great. Glad everybody is on board with all of those things. Okay, so we're gonna dive right into this thing. Thanks, Mom with Goals. Yeah, it's a reminder that I remember a lot, right? Right. Then you can just go back to being frustrated. All right. So the first thing that I am going to talk about today is this fuckery within the military. We are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about what happened at Fort Bragg yesterday. We are going to talk about this long line of examples that we have. Hey, Susan, good to see you. Of the Trump administration / the Trump campaign, because I believe in my heart of hearts that these two things blend together, right? I believe it is why Jack Smith was able to go back and amend the indictment against the Trump and the other folks. I believe the reason he was able to do that so successfully and not get rid of the and not have the entire indictment thrown out is because there are times when Donald Trump is in office that he is not acting as the president of the United States. He is acting as the candidate for president, and he is acting as a personal individual, and it has nothing to do with his role as president, right? And so I do think, hey, Jeff Kennedy, good to see you. I think that we see that a lot. What's up, Constance Pink Panther? Hey, Fire Rider, good to see you as well. I think that we see that a lot in this administration. Cheryl, I didn't forget you. I just also remember that I have Lynn Lee on today, and so I'm going to have to weave and make it all work together today. But that's okay, because we can be on here for a bit. The kids have already had physical therapy today, and so we are in this thing for a while. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Good morning, Mimi. Folks, you are still welcome to join the panel, all right? Hey, Marani. Wait a minute. I want to say it right. Maharani. Did I get it right? Maharani. What's up, Shawnee, hospice nurse? Good to see you. What's up, Blue Honey Pot? Good to see you as well. All right, so let's get let's dive into this thing. So I know that many of you all were like in and invested. Good, great, yay, hey, Lenny. In a lot of people talking about what happened at Fort Bragg yesterday. People have been talking about it last night. Somebody asked me to join a live last night, but I'm going to be real with y'all. After 4 hours yesterday, being on here, what's up, Doug? I just did not have it in me. I just did not have it in me to join another live and deal with lots of individuals who are trying very hard to not acknowledge the things that we are seeing blatantly right in our face. And so I just didn't. So we're doing it today. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. So I want to start with an article that's on military.com. And I'm choosing military.com because it's military.com and it's not CNN and it's not MSNBC and it's not Fox News and it's not ABC, CBS, or anybody else, right? Yes, ma'am. And that was not happening for me, Lisa. Hey, Mary, good to see you as well. So the first thing that I want to, thanks, Wendini, you're welcome. Thank you for showing up for me. Appreciate that. Okay. So, hey, Zoe as well. So let me say this, guys. When you show up to an event on post, no one is supposed to check you for your political affiliations or your political leanings. Like, that's not a thing. And I don't know how many of you all remember what Donald Trump said in Agenda 47. Do you all? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I've still got the printout, because y'all know I'm a print things out kind of girl. And I have lots from indictments and the Trump 47 website. So let's just see what I can find in these things. Okay, so give me a second, because I need to get past here. Oh, did I take it out of here? I might have taken it out of here because I was like, that means it's down below in all the other printed out things. Oh yeah, no, y'all, this means it's down below. So let me see if I can find it and print it out again. He does want loyalist, Cam. It is supposed to be apolitical, Jeff Kennedy, correct. But how many of you all remember that there was Agenda 47? Let me see. Agenda 47. Oh, is it still up? Let's just see. Can I still do the PDF? Oh, I love it when people don't clean their shit up. Don't you all love this? Okay, I do. I do love this. And so let me just see if I can get to page 16 and it still says what it used to say. Please let it still say so that I don't have to. Yep, here we go. Yay! I love the fact that they haven't cleaned up their stuff yet. Oh, let me go ahead and just save this while I'm at it. That way I can reprint it in case I don't have it anymore. Okay, so here we go, guys. So I want you all to remember that Donald Trump actually told us, and this is part of the GOP platform. So it is the 2024 Make America Great Again GOP platform that was on the Trump website. And so what I want to do is I want to show you all how I got to it. So, because people like to call people liars, right? So this is what I'm going to do. So for my folks that are on YouTube and Facebook and you are joining me via Restream, I'm going to share my screen with you right now. And then for those of you guys who are on TikTok, you ready? Here we go. I'm going to drop my screen here. I'm going to bring you down so you can see my other screen. Appreciate you, Dad Jokes, for having everybody power tap away on TikTok. And do y'all see that I am on DonaldTrump.com? Do y'all see that? I'm on DonaldTrump.com. I am at the platform, right? And when you look, this is the Agenda 47. And this is where you can read the party platform here, or I scroll down to the bottom and you can read it here too. And it's the Trump Republican platform. I think this is really important that they called it the Trump Republican platform. Because as far as I knew, the Republican Party didn't belong to one particular person or candidate, right? But it actually says, good morning. Yeah, the memory does fab things. Shut up, Beach Bub. They always talk about my brain and my memory. But I did remember that it was page 16. Don't judge me. Okay, but here we go. So I clicked this beautiful button right here. I'm going to do it again just so you all can see it. But watch, as soon as I click this button, watch this other tab open. Boom, and there it is. The 2024 GOP platform, Make America Great Again, right? So there's a lot to see in this document, right? To the forgotten men and women of America. I don't know who the fuck is forgotten. I don't know what that means exactly, but okay. And they've actually updated this a little bit, it looks like. But anyway, so when you scroll down to page 16, this is the chapter 10, Return to Peace Through Strength. This is that whole warrior ethos bullshit that Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have talked about, right? And I want you all to pay attention to point number 2. Good morning, Chef Ryan. Good to see you. Hey, Astrid, Jen Mad, good to see you. So if you look at point 2, modernize the military. Republicans will ensure our military is the most modern, lethal, and powerful force in the world. Hey, EGJ. We will invest in cutting-edge research and advanced technologies when you're not firing and shutting down all the research in the country, but okay, including the Iron Dome missile defense shield, support our troops with higher pay, and get woke left-wing Democrats fired as soon as possible. So this is the thing that I want everybody to pay attention to. When you talk about getting Democrats out of the military, that should not be a thing, right? Assessing the political leanings of military personnel, that is not supposed to be a thing. And the fact that at Fort Bragg yesterday, we had people that were asked about their political leanings before they were allowed to attend an event by the commander-in-chief, no matter how much I hate saying that. Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, is the commander-in-chief, right? So asking this question violates damn near everything there is about, service in the military. Because service in the military is not dictated by your political leanings, what type of party and policies you do and you don't support. That's not supposed to be a thing, people, right? And that is why you see today headlines all over the place talking about this, because people from within the military told on them. They told on them. There were people, you just retired and seen it. Right, Jeff. And so this is my point. This is not a thing that we should be seeing. Hey, Sandy. Hey, John. Good to see you guys, right? So this isn't something that we should see at all. Now, here's what I'm going to ask. If there are any people on this live right now, and Jen, I know you're one of them, but if there's anybody else that has served in the military and you would like to have to join this conversation as we talk about this topic, feel free to request up right now. I'm going to level set real quick and let everyone know. that when you come up, I want you to put yourself on mute until I can get to you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, in this live, hey, Lisa, we do things by being respectful, not using slurs, not spamming the comments, and not typing in all caps, because all caps are for my moderators and my folks that are vision impaired. Those are the 4 simple rules. If you can follow them, great. We're going to get along just fine. If you can't, I will match your energy and you will be muted or booted from this live. By the way, Facebook and YouTube, I'm kind of excited today because you know how you all can see me and TikTok can see me, but normally you can't see my guests. Well, today, Lynn Lee is going to join me live on TikTok. So TikTokers will be able to see her, and she's going to join my restream over here as well. So you all will be able to see her too when she joins us in about 1 hour. So yay, excited about that. All right, Lita J, good morning. What you got for me? I'm going to send you an invitation to unmute. Lita J. Hey, Siberia. Maybe you didn't mean to request up. If you did, go ahead and request again, and I'll bring you back up. But I will just guess that you did not mean to do that, right? So I want to share with you all what military.com says about this thing, right? So let's talk about it. You ready? So this article that came out yesterday says that this is the title. Let me share it with you guys. Oh, you guys can see it. Great. So bragg soldiers who cheered Trump's political attacks while in uniform were checked for allegiance and appearance. Now, I already know some of this because I've read it already, right? But we're going to talk about this. 100%. Hey, Jacqueline, what's up? All right, so here we go. Oh, Denny Ryan is here. Denny Ryan, would you like to join the panel? Where are you at? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Y'all know how this happens. Hey, Mary Shaw, you're welcome. Where's Danny? Where are you? I can't see you. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Good morning, Danny Ryan. I sent you an invitation to join the panel. I do have a job. I do. Now, what are you doing? Are you working while you're on TikTok? Danny Ryan, I have a question now, right? You're telling me to get a job. So I have a question, right? Do you have a job? And if you don't, you might want to get one. Number 2, if you do have one and you are currently working, are you stealing from your employer by being on TikTok? Is that what you're doing? Are you using your employer's time and your pay to come on TikTok and troll me? Is that what you're doing, Danny Ryan? Because shame on you. I'm just wondering. Hey, Phantom Love. Okay. So Danny Ryan, when you decide that you would like to be, braver than behind your keyboard, you can feel free to join my panel and we can have a respectful conversation. Okay. Okay. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Make sure that you go out and participate in the No Dictators Day on Saturday. No Dictators Day on Saturday. Okay, so here we go. Yes, it was a controlled, selected environment. You got it. Yep, 100%. They have been threatened. That's what I said. Like, if anybody had asked me, that's how I would have branded the protest for Saturday. It would have been No Dictators Day. And I would have let people have fun with all the spellings they might want to do. I would have, let people have a lot of fun with that, however they chose to. No Kings just sounds very prestigious. You know what I mean? And we just don't want to do that, right? Oh, so Mark Hind, I don't like that. I don't like that, Mark. So here's the thing. So Mark has a T-shirt that when you say that you're going to 86 something, we know what that means, right? And so he has those numbers along with 47 coming on a shirt. And here's what I will say. I do not condone violence against people. I just don't, right? I don't wish anyone to be unalived. All right. Let me just say that. No, I don't condone for anyone to be unalived, right? Even if I don't like them, because they're still human beings. They might be shitty human beings, but they're still human beings. So let me go ahead and share some of this information with you guys. It was supposed to be a routine appearance, right? From the commander in chief to rally the troops, to boost morale, and to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday week, right? But let me just say this. First of all, um, are you sure, Jimmy? Okay, we can use it like that. I think of, okay, y'all can do with it what you want. Okay, okay, okay. You take 86 as remove. I'm cool with that then, Mark. Where I come from, anyway. Moving along. Right, to do away with. Okay, cool. Um, well, okay, to be rid of. I'm good with that, y'all. I've heard it said a lot of. I've heard it said different ways for other people. I've heard it said different ways for different things. So I just always say we don't want to do anything. We don't condone violence of any sort, right? So okay, all right. So listen. So here's the thing about this event that took place on at Fort Bragg yesterday. Okay, so something that's really important is, right, Chef Ryan. See, that's what I'm saying. No, actually, there are folks over here on TikTok that thought it meant the same thing. So I think different people use it in different ways. And so that's why I immediately wanted to set it straight that that's not something that, see, other people thought so as well. So I'm just saying, always be careful because I don't support unaliving anyone. What's up, Ja? Good to see you. All right. So listen, folks. So this thing that happened at Bragg, um, the first thing that crosses my mind, and maybe this doesn't happen for everyone else, but as a veteran, the first thing that I think of when I hear about him going to a military post, period, is I think about his comments about prisoners of war. I hear his comments in my head about the things that he said about John McCain. That John McCain, people only liked him because he got caught, and he likes people that don't get caught. I think about the fiasco that his campaign created at Arlington National Park, right? I think about those things. And immediately I have a difficult time, right? This is why I always have a difficult time thinking about him as being the quote unquote commander in chief, right? I just have a very difficult time with someone who disrespects people that have served, in any way, shape, or form, who uses Gold Star families as campaign, marketing moments, right? And who disrespects the graves of the soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. So that's the first thing that I have an issue with, right? Because I just don't believe that he respects our military at all. I think he uses them as props. I think he uses them as a way to get people behind him. Right. The cemetery in France, all of those things. Right. I just don't believe this is a commander in chief that absolutely has any respect for our military. I just don't believe that to be so. What's up, DeBoss? Right, Donoski, political theater. So, what unfolded, and I'm doing this from military.com, right? Was it was anything but customary, right? So what happened is the speech was very partisan in nature, right? It was invective. There were cheers from the crowd of soldiers behind his podium. And so listen, there has always been this line between partisanship and the military. Why is that? Because our military should, I believe, represent the makeup of our country, right? Um, the military should represent the makeup of our country. And that means that's where I'm at, DeBoss. Yeah, I saw it yesterday when it happened. I literally have a friend at Bragg right now. Correct, Jeff Kennedy. I agree with you. But let me also say this to you all. I don't know why people did not see this coming during the confirmation hearing of Pete Hegseth. Did we or did we not know that Pete Hegseth is at the very least sexist and at the very least bigoted towards women and minorities? Do we not know that based on the things that he said before he was nominated and confirmed in that office? Right? We knew that, correct? Correct? Yes, we did, which is why anybody that voted yes for him to be nominated as the Secretary of Defense needs to be out of office. I don't care whether you are a Democrat or a Republican. If you voted yes for Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense, you should not be in office, in my opinion, because you did not vote according to what was in the best interest of the country, of the people, of the military at all. I don't even care if you knew that you did not have enough votes to win. Doesn't matter to me. What I know is that you didn't vote in the way that was in the best interest of the country or the people in uniform. Period. Right? So I'm just saying, right? Thank you, Cam. Okay, so I just have a hard time overall over this thing. So we are generally not a partisan. It's there. We don't have partisan events, and we especially don't have partisan events on post. Like, Jeff, let me ask you, how did you feel seeing it on post? Because that absolutely pissed me off quite a bit, right? It made me angry a bit, right? Because don't bring your ish to the post. Don't bring disruption. Don't bring partisanship. Don't bring all of those things to the post, because that's not where it should be, right? It just should not be at all. So, hey, Ben, I sent you a direct invitation to the to the panel, right? No, he's not supposed to wear a MAGA hat. That should not be a thing. Let me be very clear, guys. Nothing partisan should be present. Right, Jeff said, Jeff just retired, and he said he destroyed 50 years of traditions. And that's true. He did, right?
I have a question. That's why. But when he steps foot on the base, isn't he commander in chief? So then he's no longer like the civilian president. So shouldn't he have to abide by the same military code, the Hatch Act version of the military's version of the Hatch Act? Because now he's like a general, right?
He's not a general. He is the commander in chief, though, in terms of.
But wouldn't he be almost have to abide by the same nonpartisan rules as in command?
No, I don't think so. And the reason I don't is because he was elected to that position, so he did not take. I don't think in the presidential oath of office that he takes that he swears that he will obey the commands of that. He doesn't do that. And that's what we say. And when we say it, we say as it's outlined by the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. He doesn't take that same oath that soldiers do.
But I guess, at the very least, right, he's not supposed to entice soldiers to break their oath, right? Which is what he did.
Yeah, he's always commander in chief. So he is not. So here's the thing. He has to abide by the rules, the same rules as everybody else, because he's always commander in chief. It's not like he becomes the commander in chief when he's on post. He always is, because he's the president, right? So he's supposed to always go by those things, and he's always supposed to be in line and honoring and abiding by the Constitution, right? That's at all times. But the legal process for him is different. He isn't held to like the UCMJ, but he's not supposed to. He's supposed to abide by the rules on military post, right? Whatever is done, whatever rules we have, right? So on military posts, it's nonpartisanship at all times, right? We should not be selling Trump merchandise. We should not be selling white privilege cards or white privilege trumps, whatever else. Like those things should not be occurring on post. And they were yesterday. And it makes a mockery out of all of the individuals that have signed up and served to defend this country, especially every African American, every Native American, every Latinx individual, every Black and brown person that has ever served. Yeah, they made a mockery out of all of that yesterday, especially with the white privilege credit card thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what I would be asking is he doesn't get a pass just because he's president.
No,
right? He doesn't get a pass, right?
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't get a pass.
Thank you so
Right.
much. Thank you so
What's
much.
up, Peter? Yeah, you're welcome, Lisa. Yeah. Sorry about that, sis. Hey, Elroy, did you have a question or you want to say something on this subject matter? Elroy, going once, going twice. I'm guessing you got up here by accident. Okay, cool. What's up, Alicia? All right. So, yeah. So the thing about this is, we are not allowed to engage in partisan things and politics on post. It's just not a thing that we do, right? So, Ben, this is twice now. Okay. This is going to be your second invitation to the panel. You either accept it or you're going to be muted and booted from the live because you're not here for actual, any real purpose other than to be an asshole. So if you aren't that, then, yeah. So just saying. So give me a second, guys. Yeah, so I'm reading from military.com. So let me finish this, okay? And then we'll have some more discussion. So this is what happened. As Trump viciously attacked his perceived political foes, he whipped up boos from the gathered troops directed at California leaders, including Governor Gavin Newsom, amid the president's controversial, it's not controversial to me. I would change this verbiage. I would say amid the president's unconstitutional move to deploy the National Guard. I would say not even amid the president's controversial move, but amid the president's unlawful move to deploy the National Guard because it was unlawful, right? And Marines against protesters in it depends, Shar. It depends, right? Yeah, verbiage is important. It's not important. It's not controversial. It's unlawful. It's unlawful is what it is, period, right? And then he also, of course, talked about Joe Biden and the press. And the soldiers roared with laughter and they applauded Trump's diatribe in a shocking and rare display of troops taking part in naked political partisanship. This is not something that is supposed to happen, period. Not supposed to happen. So for this story, listen to this. Military.com reached out to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's office, as well as the Army and the 82nd Airborne Division directly with a series of questions that ranged from the optics of the event to social media posts showing the sale of Trump campaign merchandise on the base to the apparent violation of Pentagon policies on political activities in uniform. What's up, Stacey D? Right. So internal 82nd Airborne Division communications reviewed by military.com reveal a tightly orchestrated effort to curate the optics of Trump's recent visit, including hand-picking soldiers for the audience based on political leanings and physical appearance. The troops ultimately selected to be behind Trump and visible to the cameras were almost exclusively male. One unit level message bluntly said, quote unquote, no fat soldiers. Quote, if soldiers have political views that are in opposition to the current administration and they don't want to be in the audience, then they need to speak with their leadership and get swapped out, end quote. Another note to troops said. Yeah, so let me here we go. Service officials declined to comment when asked about the extent to which troops were screened, whether soldiers displaying partisan cheers on television, a violation of long-standing Pentagon rules, would be disciplined, or if soldiers who objected to participating in the event, citing disagreements with the administration, would be disciplined or admonished in any way. Quote, this has been a bad week for the Army, for anyone who cares about us being a neutral institution, one commander at Fort Bragg told military.com on the condition of anonymity to avoid retaliation. Quote, this was shameful. I don't expect anything to come out of it, but I hope maybe we can learn from it long term, end quote. Experts were quick to come out and say that the public silence from military leadership is a missed opportunity to reinforce the military's nonpartisan nature. Meanwhile, the political leadership at the head of the Defense Department was far from apologetic. Now, I'm going to just talk about this, folks, because this is big. I don't think that you all understand what the lack of criticism from military leadership at the top means. I'm not sure that you all firmly grasp what it means to not have dissent come from the leadership at the top, because it should. Bella, she needs to get in and use the bathroom. Okay, hurry, Mila, go. It's unlocked. Okay, so listen, folks, this is a big deal. This is a big deal because these are the people that we have to rely on to say no when they are asked to do things that violate the UCMJ. These are the individuals that we have to trust to say no to any unlawful order that is given to them. These are the people. And the fact that they are too scared, or they will only speak on the condition of anonymity, is huge and hugely impactful for us as a country. I don't know how familiar you are with things that have happened and things that have been allowed to happen in the military against civilians, against women, against LGBTQ plus members of the military. I need for you all to understand something, that silence is complicit. If you are silent, you are complicit. Period. Right. History is how we know that this is concerning. You got it. 100%. Okay. So when they say that the Defense Department was far from apologetic, there's a link to a tweet from DoD Rapid Response showing USA, USA, USA chants broke out at Fort Bragg. Our military proudly stands behind our commander-in-chief. Our military proudly stands behind the Constitution. Our military, let me say that again, is supposed to proudly stand behind the Constitution, not one particular person, but behind the Constitution. And if the commander-in-chief is not standing behind the Constitution, the military is supposed to choose the Constitution over anyone else. That's the job. That's the job. Because the commander-in-chief changes every freaking 4 years, or it can, which is why we hold true to the things that keep us steady. And the things that keep us steady between partisan swings in this, right? Yeah, so expound upon that a little bit, Jeff Kennedy. Yeah, so the person who spoke to military.com spoke on the condition of anonymity because they said specifically to avoid retaliation, right? So this is the next thing that was said. So Sean Parnell, who's a top Pentagon spokesperson, said in a statement to military.com, quote, "Believe me, no one needs to be encouraged to boo the media. Look no further than this query, which is nothing more than a disgraceful attempt to ruin the lives of young soldiers," end quote. So that is a top Pentagon spokesman saying that even military.com, who is the press, right, is wrong and should be booed. So this idea, right, Constitution, we defend the country from foreign and domestic enemies. Exactly, Jeff. So this is my thing, folks. When you have got individuals that are in the Pentagon and individuals that are in the White House, right, that are leading the charge against the freedom of free speech, right, against freedom of the press, that's a problem. When your top Pentagon official defends this type of partisanship on Fort Bragg and says, look, even you asking this question is bad. No, accountability is not bad. And if accountability was coming from military leadership, then guess what? Accountability from the press would not be necessary. Military.com would not have to ask these questions if Fort Bragg leadership shut that shit down like they were supposed to. If they had pushed back and said, absolutely not, we don't do that here. Don't tell me the 82nd Airborne is some badass Rangers who bent the knee to a damn dictator yesterday. Just saying. Jeremiah, did you have something you want to add to it? Thank you, Dream Husk.
No, I'm just letting you go. I can wait. Go ahead.
I wanted to see if Jeremiah had something before I go to you, DeBoss.
You know this has me fired up first thing in the morning, Danny.
Tell people why.
How are you going to take my family? How are you going to take my green family and make them subordinate to a maniac, to a morally bankrupt administration? Just like you said, every 4 years, presidents come, presidents go. They've been doing this for 250 years, coming and going. But that Constitution, though it has amendments, has stood pretty much the test of time. Right. And though I think it was a flawed document written by flawed men, the ideals within it are something to strive for and something to protect. And it breaks my heart. Yeah. It just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And I was talking with a National Guard soldier who's out in LA this morning, and he said, you know, I just hate that we're in this position. He goes, the only thing that would cause me to act aggressively towards a citizen of these United States would be if they were to injure myself or my buddy. If they were to injure myself or my battle buddy, I would defend him or defend myself, but I would never be aggressive towards a civilian. But then on the other side of that spectrum, you've got Marines coming out of 29 posting on TikTok, flexing in the mirror in the latrine, saying, oh, I hope they leave some tortas for me. I'm about to get there. And saying, oh, I can't wait to see one of those protesters come up to me.
Are you kidding?
No, you haven't seen these?
No, because I haven't been on TikTok since I got off yesterday.
Okay, I'll
if you're in the Discord, post the links in the Discord. Everybody needs to be screenshotting those. Everybody needs to record those TikToks of those military individuals, and they should be sent absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, I reposted them, and another vet, Isaac Neutron on here, he's posted them, and he actually screenshotted them and sent them an email to up the chain of command.
Yeah, it needs to be chain of command, and it needs to be so like, because I don't really trust national news, call me crazy. But I would absolutely send it to the folks at military.com. I would send it to the folks at PBS and NPR and BBC. I would send it to those folks in order to shine a light on it. And the only way to do things like that is independent, right? So even Justin Canoe over at the Tennessee Holler, like independent folks like that, that's the only way to do this. Yeah, anything that's run by the government, I just don't. It's sad to say, oh my God, you can't trust. Yeah, we have reached a point where I don't know if y'all get this or not. You cannot trust the government.
No, not in the least. It's I got in here just a little bit late because I was talking to somebody. When you were going through that article, did you mention the selling of Trump merchandise?
I'm almost right there. That's my next paragraph.
I'm sorry. I don't want you to spoiler out there. You'll do it better than me.
Yeah, we are going to talk about it in depth, and we're going to talk about what that merchandise said. We're going to talk about all of those things, because, and right, Jeff Kennedy's correct. Hate speech is not allowed on post. It is not allowed in uniform. It is not allowed. Y'all listen. You know, you cannot listen. Conduct unbecoming a non-commissioned officer. Conduct unbecoming an officer. Like this, I can't be any more clear.
It's like I fell into a coma.
Right.
I'm having some crazy coma dream, Danny. It's
yeah. So
it's baffling.
Yeah, it is very baffling and irritating. I want you to hang out for a minute as we keep going through the rest of this article so that we can talk about the rest of this, because and of course he's going to talk negatively about and I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to play what he said. I am not going to give Donald Trump does not get my platform ever. He's not getting my platform. But what I will say is, so I would love to hear, before I move on, so Jeremiah and Jeff Kennedy, I would love to hear you, and Jen, because I know Jennifer, my other vet, is in there. I want to say this. Okay, so I want you all to think about this. Yesterday, the military approved the withdrawal of all non-essential personnel and the dependence of the troops in the Middle East because of the tensions increasing between us and Iran, right? I don't know if you saw what Iran said about that. Did you read that, Jeremiah? Do you know what they said?
Are you referring to how all of our bases are within reach?
Oh, listen, he said, that joker said, listen, he said, we are not interested in any new or clear weapons. Put that first part together, right? He said, but if things get militarized, right? If this does pop off, he said, whoever it is going to have more casualties than we do because we can reach all of them from where we are. Literally. Yeah. So listen, let me see if I can find the rest of the article for you. Hold on, because
it's brutal.
Yeah, it is no joke. And then I closed out a bunch of these things. Let me see if I left this one up or not.
And we're busy fighting ourselves.
Right. And here we are. We're deploying Marines to damn LA for a fucking protest, right? Military withdraws non-essential personnel, Iran. There we go. The article that I read yesterday was on AP News. So I'm going to go right there so I can quote exactly what I want to quote. And here's what they said. Okay, so unless did they update it? Maybe. I don't really care about that. Okay, quote. This is Iranian defense minister, General Aziz Narizadeh, and he says, quote, if conflict is imposed on us, the opponent's casualties will certainly be more than ours. And in that case, America must leave the region because all its bases are within our reach. We have access to them, and we will target all of them in the host countries without hesitation. I just wonder if everybody hears that. Without hesitation. I need y'all listen. It's different. It's those folks. They're not like Donald Trump, right? They're not gonna talk shit and not do nothing. They don't eat chicken tacos every day.
No.
From McDonald's.
No.
And here's the thing. The military does not authorize the withdrawal of all non-essential personnel and dependents unless there's a real, potential threat. That's not a thing that happens. And so I'm pissed off because here's what we have. While this is happening in the Middle East, right? You've got 4,000 National Guard that have been, deployed to LA, 700 Marines, right? And then you got the nerve to have all our fucking army tanks and stuff in DC this weekend, all in one big ass location.
Strategy.
That is strategy. That's just brilliant. That's just so smart.
Military geniuses.
Yes, 100%. It is absolutely astounding to me, folks, that people don't get this. And let me just tell y'all this. Can I go ahead and do a little education from the past? So what many politicians and administrations believe is that the United States comes together when we are attacked by someone else. Y'all hear me? They believe that we'll forget about everything else and we'll stand behind our leadership. We'll stand behind the country. We'll put up yellow ribbons, right? That's what they think if we're attacked by someone else. Hey, Penton. And so here's my thing, folks. You can't be that naive. You can't be that influenced. You can't be that whatever. We need to understand. And here's what's so crazy. Trump keeps talking about the enemy within. That's because it's him. That projection is him.
That's isn't that one of the top narcissistic traits?
100%.
Is that projection?
That's it. You got it all day long. That's all he does is project. That's why I say, listen to what they're talking about, because whenever they talk, they're usually talking about themselves. Appreciate you, Romies, right? They are typically talking about themselves. So let me pause for a second. Jeremiah, you continue to hang out. I'm going to do DeBoss, and then I'm going to go to Isom if you have something you want to say. So let me do Michael DeBoss first, and then I'm going to go to Isom Harrison. What's up, DeBoss? What you got for me?
Hey, Jeremiah. What's so crazy is what's going on. It's escalating to a point where history will tell a part of this. I was on a call this morning with a young man that I've been mentoring who was thinking about going to the military. I'll be honest. I told he was thinking about it. I'm like, young brother, not now. No, sit your ass down. This is not the time, and this is not the time.
It's not.
What do we fight? What do we fight? What are we? And I know this. This country, this leadership is telling us that women and minorities don't matter at every turn.
Yes.
And they're getting closer and closer to all the things they said that they weren't doing. This administration was saying no new conflicts. They were going to end the current ones and no new ones. They haven't stopped anything, and they're doing more. I mean, there is nothing that they've said that they were going to do that was supposed to be positive that they're doing. Not one single thing.
Nope.
And they're definitely not doing anything legally. So what you just said, 9/11 happened, everybody came together.
Unless you looked brown and Middle Eastern.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going to go.
Unless you...
it on live the other day, and I said that unfortunately that was the one time where, as a black man, I felt like the bullseye wasn't on me, and I was able to take a breath. But
right.
outside of that, what are we doing? What are we doing to signify that all people matter and we should come together when they are literally deploying troops, our military? And I've watched video, and I've seen still pictures, and I'm starting to hear reports, and I know you know this, Danny, that a lot of the National Guard and the Marines, their morale is in the damn tank right now, being deployed into this crap. So now my question this is what I came to ask you, and now that Jeremiah's here. Do you believe that inside the military that there is some significant conflict, being a former soldier, some significant conflict that a lot of the military personnel is feeling? Not the ones that are posting this shit, because let's be clear, they've always been there.
Yeah.
They've always, you guys have spoke about it time and time again. People need to understand, Danny, you talked about racism in the military since I met you, right? Now people are starting to see things on full frontal display. Don't be surprised, people. They're just emboldened to do it. But back to my question, do you think that inside those barracks, that those military officers, soldiers, are having a conflict with what's going on versus the oath that they pledged to?
Yeah, I do think that, right? And I will tell you this. So how many of you guys remember, no worries, Jeff. How many of you all remember in 2021 when the Associated Press did a full-blown report on deep-rooted racism and discrimination and how it permeates the U.S. military? How many of you all remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you. I had people so mad about this, especially back home, right? Because y'all know where I'm from. And they were like, absolutely, the military is not ready. It's always, and I said, have you fucking served? No? Then shut the fuck up, please, because it absolutely is there, has been there. Whatever. Do y'all remember people would get up here before the election and people would say to me, I don't understand. How are veterans and how are military people voting for Donald Trump? And I said, the military has always been a racist, sexist place. There's nothing new about that. Guys, we are a military. Some of y'all are not going to like this, but you got to be honest. See, when you truly love something, you're honest about it. When you truly love something, you point out where we need to do better. When you truly love something, like this is my thing. When people say, if you don't like it, leave. Bitch, I don't know where you're from, but where I'm from, you don't abandon what you leave just because it ain't what you like, right? When you love something, you actually stick to it. You put your feet down. You stand 10 toes down and you work to fix it. When you love something, you just don't run off and go, oh, I think I'm done. No. So don't be telling me to leave, right? So anyway, this is a real thing. And anybody that knows, if you are honest about the military, you know that it's a problem. Guys, when there's an acronym, so in the military, in the VA system, there's we have two different acronyms under the trauma headings. So everybody knows one of them. What's the trauma heading everybody knows for mental health? PTSD. Everybody knows that one, right? Okay, so how many of you all know, how many of you have heard of MST? How many of you all have heard of the VA diagnosis of MST? Other than people who heard about it from me.
Is that military service trauma?
That is military schmexual trauma. That's what there's literally a diagnostic code in the VA for MST.
Unfortunately, that makes too much sense.
Exactly. That's how often, that's how much it happens. Right? So when people say, oh, it's not a thing. No, it's a thing. And so if I were talking to people right now, I would absolutely be telling minorities that ain't the place for you. And this is what I would say to everybody else is, I hope you're ready for all of your Republican MAGA boys to be the ones signing up. Because I think everybody else is about to say, nah, I'm good. I'm straight.
I mean, it looks like that's The part of a conversation I had this morning, a thought that I had was, so at the Bragg, it was basically a campaign rally at the Fort Bragg campaign rally.
Yep.
Those younger soldiers, 18 to 22, coming up through the ranks right now. If you think about it, when Trump was in his first term, they were just coming of age to have this concept of political life and what it means and who was in office. And they've got their parents or, grandparents or whoever, talking about MAGA and how great MAGA is and MAGA. And now they're enlisted and all they've ever heard is how great the dump is and how horrible leftist lunatics are and we're the enemy within. So they literally think they're signing up to fight us.
Yeah, the enemy within. So the person who's asked me what is MST, it is and I'm going to say it in TikTok friendly language. It is military schmexual trauma. So it's military SA trauma. That's what it is. And so I've got a piece of this that's pulled up from this AP article from 2021. And I want to show you all what just one part of it says. Okay. So I'm already sharing it on the other side, but I'm going to share it with you guys so that you can see. This is one part of it. Are y'all ready? It says the military said it processed more than 750 complaints of discrimination by race or ethnicity from service members in the fiscal year 2020 alone. But discrimination doesn't exist just within the military rank and file. That same fiscal year, civilians working in the financial, technical, and support sectors of the Army, Air Force, and Navy also filed another 900 complaints of racial discrimination and over 350 complaints of discrimination specifically by skin color. So do the math. And that's just the racist part. We haven't even gotten into the sexism part. So when I look at what happened yesterday at Fort Bragg, right? So yeah, y'all are going, holy shit. See, people didn't know. For those of us who served, we know. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't nothing new. But let me just tell you, what did you see predominantly in the pictures yesterday? What did the people standing behind and around Donald Trump look like?
They look like me before I was allowed to grow this beard, Danny.
Right. When you look out into this vast sea of shit, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I see 6 brown faces. Y'all know it'd be hot in North Carolina, so I don't know how many tans we got out there too. But
ain't that hot.
Shit. Yeah, it is. Listen, my babies went to the swimming pool yesterday for 90 minutes. They came back looking Dominican. So don't tell me. Listen, if I didn't have melasma and I still stayed out in the sun like I used to, I become damn near caramel. Yeah. And there's high yellow goes to straight ass red bone, like honey. Yeah. But anyway, and I can joke about it because it's me.
You know that they were strategically placed there for visibility, though.
Yes, and that's part of what the conversation says. So I want to talk about the rest of this article. So let me go ahead and finish. I'm going to share back with you guys as I go through the rest of this article. Okay, so here we go. So as we go through the rest of this article real quick, and then I want to, well, before that, let me do ISOM. ISOM, you got something you want to touch on? What you got for me? ISOM, I'm going to send you an invitation to unmute. So folks, let me just say this. I'm going to assume that you didn't mean to request up. If you did, just go ahead and request back up and I won't put you on mute. Okay. So let me just say this, folks. I have seen the look, my brother said like copper tone, baby. Yes, he knows. They've seen it. They've seen it. The sun is my friend. But anyway, okay, so check this out. It has been sent to me, and I have seen these Craigslist where it says seat fillers wanted in Washington, D.C. this weekend. It appears that they are, I got you, Lenny. It appears that they are recruiting and paying for people to fill seats. I don't know that to be a thing, but I'll show you what was sent to me. How about I do that? Let me do that. I will show you what was sent to me, and then you all can make a determination for yourself about what you think of this thing. So, okay, hold on. Don't judge me, y'all. I have so many places that stuff gets sent to me at. I need to find. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I hate this. It's not going to let me do it. Let me see if I can do it over here. Can I do it? Where is, it's not that one. Oh, wait. Okay. No, you're right. What's that? Oh, damn. I forgot this too. I took screenshots of it. I also wanted to read General Mattis's statement that he released. How many of you all saw the general statement that he released on Trump, activating the National Guard, and you did not? Okay, we're going to do that as well. Good morning, Kinder Mama. Good to see you. Okay, so let's take it in. Let me take it in stride. Let me do this. I'm going to read the next portion of this article. Then I'm going to pull up the general statement. I can't find the picture that was sent to me just yet. And I don't want to mess up the live. So anyway, if anybody has it readily available, feel free to send it to me and I'll pull it up. But I was looking and I could have sworn that Joker sent it to me in Signal. But I am looking and I still... No, it must have been text. It must have been. Oh, I'm lying. Here it is. Sweet. Look at that. Look at the Lord. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, apparently this is from Washington, D.C. This is from the Craigslist on Washington, D.C. It says, let me show you guys. All right, here we go. You ready? And I'm going to turn my camera around so that you can see it. And here it is. So this is supposed to be from Washington, D.C.'s Craigslist. And it's seat fillers needed June 14th, Constitution Avenue, D.C. And it says Team Ellen Events is looking for seat fillers and extras to provide their time for space maximization and attendance participation for an event taking place in Washington, D.C. on June 14th. As if people don't know what the fuck the event is for. It says extras and seat fillers will check in on the morning of June 14th at 9 a.m. Extras are required to wear red, white, and blue clothing and will be provided a red hat to wear. Gold accessories are acceptable as well. The team will advise the extras where to stand or sit according to the line of sight from a VIP viewing platform area. Extras and seat fillers will be paid a flat daily fee and will be provided a lunch of fast food and soda. We encourage people of color and ethnic groups to sign up for maximum perception control. And these individuals will be prominently displayed on the televised broadcast and local viewing screens to be seen by the VIP platform. Flat fee of $1,000 paid in cryptocurrency provided by Fight LLC. Now, this is when I do this automatically. Fight. Hold on. I do Fight LLC. And then I want to, it's a company that along with CIC Digital holds a significant portion of Trump cryptocurrency coins after their initial coin offering. These two entities affiliated with the Trump organization collectively own 80% of the remaining coins. Yeah. Well, so there you go. That's who Fight LLC is. I cannot.
Danny, have you ever paid somebody $1,000 to come to your birthday party?
I don't pay anybody to do shit. You either show up or you don't. So this is my thing. I believe that that whenever I do an event, whoever shows up is who's meant to show up. And then I just let it be that. So I don't know where this oh yeah, but no, that's how about that, you guys? How about that? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling? Now, I just want y'all to know this will be the highest ratings ever. It's going to be the biggest crowd you've ever seen. It is going to be the most amazing spectacle. I mean, there's never been anything like it. Never been anything like it. There's going to be so many people in the crowds. Like, it's going to be like, I don't even know. Like, I think, I think this is going to be bigger than Abraham Lincoln's. Like, as if anybody else in the United States ever had a parade like this. But, it's going to be the biggest crowd. I mean, I think it was like, I don't know, like 2 million people showed up. I mean, like, it was incredible. It's like nothing you've ever seen, people. It's like nothing you've ever seen. That's what it's going to be, folks. I'm just saying. And then somebody is going to fly a damn drone over that bitch and take a real picture or two and put it out, and he's going to call it fake news, which is how we got here to start with. Somebody said, what's the phone number? I think you have to reply on Craigslist. And I think they took it down once because it's out on X. It's out everywhere. It was posted yesterday at noon. And when I got it yesterday afternoon, at what time did I get it? So it was posted on X at noon. I got it at 1:22 p.m. So it has been up literally 24 hours and it has 1.4 million views. So just saying, how about that? I'm not watching it at all. I won't give not 1 ounce of my time and energy to add to anything that he can brag about. I won't do it. I won't platform him. I won't platform. The only time I platform them is to show them lying about some shit like that is necessary to what we're talking about. It was up this morning. Was it up on Craigslist, Tink? See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is some craziness that we are living in right now. So here's the part where we're going to get at. So adding to the spectacle, a pop-up shop operated by 365. Operated by 365 Campaign, a Tulsa, Oklahoma-based retailer that sells pro-Trump and other conservative coded memorabilia. It was on Craigslist. See, told you. Other people done looked it up. It was set up on site on the military post, selling with campaign-style merchandise on Army property. Soldiers in uniform were seen purchasing clothing, including quote-unquote "Make America Great Again" chain necklaces and faux credit cards. You need help, Mila? Bella, Mila wants you to come here. And get this, the faux credit cards were labeled quote-unquote "white privilege card trumps everything," end quote. I need y'all to just hear what I just said. They were selling fake credit cards that say "white privilege card trumps everything. On Fort Bragg, and soldiers in uniform were buying these things. That goes against Pentagon rules, people. 100% it does.
Would that lead to them being dismissed?
I mean, it in the regular army.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. In a normal reality.
I mean, if nothing else, it would be in Article 15. What you think, Jeremiah?
DACA pay, loss of rank.
Yep.
At minimum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Article 15, DACA pay. See, Mr. Barrio said the same thing, right?
I got an Article 15 for getting a sunburn one time.
That's crazy.
Because I damaged government
Property. Yep.
What?
Yes. We are considered government property. It's why we can't sell. It's why we can't sue the army. It's why we can't sue them. But here it is, y'all. Faux credit cards labeled white privilege trumps everything.
I just want to apologize on behalf of my whole race.
You ain't got to do that, Jeremiah. You ain't responsible for that whole race. But I'm just saying, y'all, this is crazy.
Somebody's got to say something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, I know you and I and Jen know, but how far embedded all of this systemic racism is since the very, 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 very beginning.
Yep.
But even more so after World War II, when we literally brought literal goose steppers over, gave them homes, gave them a whole community, and let them rebuild their fundamental ideology within our borders.
Yeah.
Those roots are deep, and they've been planning this
Yes.
for
decades.
almost 100 years.
Yeah.
80 years.
Oh, thank you, Brandy. Yeah. I mean, it's bad, folks. And when people say, what are we going to do and who's going to speak up? I'm going to tell you who has to speak up. It has to be people like everybody in this room. It has to be the people who look like the people who are doing the damage. It has to be. That's the only way it matters. Right now, I would love to see veterans all across the country. And it's then we only got 2 days, but literally we have to do it on another day. I would love to have veterans all across the country wearing t-shirts that say "No Dictator Day," right? No dictator per the UCMJ. We don't serve a dictator per the UCMJ, right? And have it literally be in every city across the country at the same time. Nothing but veterans, dependents, all damn day. See, this is my thing. Nobody asks me about marketing and they lose out because I would not be saying No King's Day because kings are prestigious. I would be saying No Dictator Day. And then I would brand everything with mushrooms, tiny ones. That's what I would do. And baby carrots.
Baby carrots. But Daddy, can you get back to where you were going with that? People were asking, what do we do?
Bella, can you see what Mila wants? Yeah.
Who needs to show up right now? Who needs to protest?
Yeah, it absolutely has to be. Yeah, and I just said, have fun. Because Stormy Daniels described, well, you get it. Okay, so listen, the people who have to protest. So let me just say this, folks. And I've been saying this way before these protests started in LA. Okay, listen. Whenever you want to protest something that is being done, the people who have to protest have to be people that belong to the demographic of the people that are doing the oppressing, right? So, for example, if you have people that are oppressing and they are saying homophobic, transphobic things, right? then the people who have to protest against them have to be cis heterosexual people. Okay. When you have people that are saying things that are sexist and misogynistic, then you have to have men. You have to have male people who identify as men. You have to have men out there protesting on behalf of the women. If someone is being racist, the people doing the protesting have to be white people. Because listen, if the marginalized group could end the oppression, they would have. It has to be the same group that is doing the oppressing that is fighting against the oppressors. That is how you get it done. And it doesn't matter. That's why it needs to be rich people speaking out against the other rich people. That's what it needs to be. All of them should be speaking out against each other, right? So we should have the good billionaires. So this is the thing. So is it cool that the one billionaire dude said he's going to cover the one thing that we're not covering anymore, and he did it once before? Sure, that's great. But if you can cover some shit that the government's not covering, could you also feed our kids? Could you also pay our teachers? Could you also give us universal health care? Like, if you can step the fuck up when we're not going to pay. It wasn't Mark Cuban. It's another guy. It's another guy. It's not Mark Cuban. It's another dude. And I forget the name of the thing, but it was right after the Trump administration. It was something that we're supposed to pay to other countries, I think. Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
All that came to mind to me was Warren Buffett. He was saying that if all of the corporations, or if 800 corporations in the United States paid their full taxes as his company did, we would be able to fund every need within the government.
Oh, more than that, but no, it's somebody else. Oh my gosh. It was right after. Nope, it wasn't Gates. It was not Gates. It's Michael Bloomberg. Look at you coming through. I love it when a plan comes together. Michael Bloomberg. What is he paying, y'all? Remember, going to pay something for us. It's a promise. It's something that we made, right? Yep, to the UN. He's giving $22 million to the UN. He's paying our fees. So we have $22 million that was supposed to go to the UN, and Michael Bloomberg is paying it to the UN on our behalf because Trump's not paying it, right? So here's my thing. If you can pump up and give $22 million to the UN, which I'm grateful that you're doing, but come on, why are children in this country going hungry? Why? I don't understand it. And y'all cannot tell me that, well, I don't have to like him to appreciate something that he's doing good, right? Because nobody's ever going to be perfect, right? Nobody is ever going to be perfect. But I will take that good shit. I will take him paying our part of the UN, because despite what this administration thinks, we need our allies. Anybody that has served this country understands we need allies. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we don't have, okay, when people talk about like the size of our military, we have 1.3 active duty military. That's it. Do y'all know how much China has? I looked it up the other day, and I will tell you again. There it is. They have around 2,035,000 as of 2025. Yeah, they are double. They are damn near double. They have the largest active military force in the world. So I just want to be clear about that while we busy talking shit. Somebody asked me to look at North Korea. Okay, I'll do that as well. Oh shit. Well, they have what we have. They have 1.3 million. That includes a 1 million strong army, an air force of 110,000, and a navy of 60,000. And then they have a significant reserve and paramilitary force as well. How about that? See, y'all? This is crazy. The People's Army of Vietnam has over 500,000. They have 600,000, and they have the largest reserve force at about 5 million. Yeah, and we're going to spend what are we spending on this dumbass parade? $24 million plus whatever it takes for us to fix the roads when it's done.
I thought it was 45 plus the 16.
I think it is total. Let me see, because you know the numbers have it's 46 million. Appreciate it. See, plus the 13 to 16 for the roads. Right, that's what it is. So really quickly, let me finish this military.com article because Lynn Lee is supposed to be here and probably is here because my ass was running my jaws and didn't see that she was here. Sorry about that. She's here and she's on time. We got caught up in military stuff. So let me very quickly sum this up, and then I want to bring Lynn Lee Thorne. She's from Rural Ground Game up, and I want to go through you all real quick. So I just want to see if there's anything else that I need. I'm not interested in what he said. An 82nd Airborne non-commissioned officer told military.com, quote, "I bet none of those soldiers booing even know the mayor's name or could identify them in a lineup. They're non-existent in the chain of command. So any opinion they could possibly have can only be attributed to expressing a political view while in uniform." Damn right. Wow. And this is what Risa Brooks, she's an expert of civil military relations at Marquette University. She said, quote, "It shows it's possible that the military's professional ethics could fail." Holy shit. Well, there you go. I hope it rains like hell all day. Real quick, Jen, I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk while I get ready for Lindley to join us. Hold on, I gotta find you on my TikTok. Jesus, did you request up on TikTok? Are you Lenny with a dog? Who are you on TikTok? I'm trying. I'm working.
So I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Reading those articles last night kind of broke me. Like just the sheer audacity of those command at Bragg allowing that to happen broke me.
Yeah.
I served 12 years and lost so many friends. Got cancer from being over there. Lost appendages. For that to happen, it broke me, and I'm pissed.
As you should be. Okay, got you. Okay, I'll call a farmer. Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say, and I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, Jen. I knew today was going to be rough, and we will come back to this conversation as well. I just want to be respectful of Lindley's time as well.
I completely understand that.
It's okay. She said, "It's me." Okay.
I'll stay in the comments.
All right. Appreciate you guys. All right. So what I'm going to do is Sammy J and Cheryl, are y'all good hanging on until, okay, I got you. Sammy J, can I bring you back up in a minute once I finish this?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me clean this out real quick because I'm super excited to have my friend. She's my bestie in my brain, but she doesn't know it. Like that's a real thing. And it's crazy because we just why is it doing that? Why won't it let me? Okay, so hold on. Expand first spot first. Oh, I have to do one at a time. Okay, fine. And now let me do this. Oh, my sweet baby Jesus.
It's probably me.
No, it ain't. This is not you at all. Thank the Lord. Okay, that's better. Okay, now turn your camera on TikTok and you are good to go. And I'm going to do this. Do you know how to do it? If you just touch your box, and then down at the bottom where you can unmute yourself, it's going to show you a microphone and it's going to show you a camera to turn it around. So touch your own box that's in front of you.
Oh my.
Right. What does she need to touch, y'all? Because I'm not doing it now. I only know it when I do it myself. Somebody remind me.
I'm clicking the box, but when I press camera, it's not. It says I need access to go live.
Oh, you might not have enough followers on TikTok.
Yeah, I've never done this before. Like I told you.
Okay, so here we go. All right, so let me show you this. Okay, but you can still undo your mic. You can still, I think.
Yep.
Oh, but don't mute the one for the computer and
Yep.
leave the one on TikTok up. Sorry, guys, technical stuff. We're all good, though. You're good. It's me. No worries. Okay, are you muted on the computer? Okay, so now unmute on TikTok and we're good. Because TikTok I can do louder. And I am going to... You're not muted somewhere. Whoop.
Did that work, Danny?
Yep, you are there. We love to see it. So... Look, now they're following you so that we can see you. Go follow Lynn Lee, guys. Okay, so here's what nope, I don't want to do that. I want to get rid of, why won't it let me? Oh, it will. Remove. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Look. Okay, we're all good. So TikTok, I'm bringing you closer up here so that you can see her there. All right, perfect. Everybody's got that? Yeah, I know she's not active on TikTok much, and I need her to be more active on TikTok so that we can help her get the following. Yep, we did it, Marin. Okay, so let me just tell you guys who Lindley Thorne is, okay? Because she is in. Can I put the big box up on my end? I don't know what you're asking me to do right now. I don't know what you mean. You are literally turned around watching my other screen. Yep. And they are gifting you, which is great. Okay. So see, this is good. I'm good if y'all are good. Is everybody good? You like when it's just me? Yeah, but you won't be able to see her face. Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. Girl, I heard you cussing. She said, oh shit, get me down. I heard her. I got it. She said, oh shit, get me down. Real quick. Okay, like that. There we go. That has me tickled. Her name is Lynlee, Lynlee. And she is from an organization in rural Virginia called Better for Tapping, perfect, called Rural Ground Game. And she and I met through some other rural folks that we know that are progressive and believe in humanity and people over all types of things, especially money and property and that sort of thing. And so she and we connected through these other people like all the time, but never got to like meet in person until I went to, oh, I got you. I can put you down. She said, how did I get up there? So I went to, you guys remember when I went to Virginia and when I went to Virginia, I went to the Virginia Rural Caucus. She was there. I was there. We got a chance to meet in person. And as soon as I heard her talk, this is no kidding. As soon as I heard her talk, I said, she's my people. She's my people. Like I knew 100 Lynlee, no I, Lynlee, Marin. As soon as I met her, I said, she's my people because A, she's authentic as fuck. That's my jam. She cares about people. That's my jam. She's a badass who speaks her mind and does the work. That's my people. And so I immediately said to her, hey, you want to come and join and all that sort of stuff. While I let Phantom very quickly give me a commercial break so I can go see why Mila is crying in the bathroom. I will be right back. Phantom, take it away, please.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing great. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen, sharing the lives, and sending your daily heart me's. And also, make sure you collect your points at the top. Do your daily task up there to increase your levels within this live. And also, for her to cam up on TikTok, she needs at least 100 more follows for her to get camera access to TikTok. So you have to have at least 200 followers to cam up on TikTok. So make sure y'all follow her so she can cam up. Also, if y'all are wanting to follow Danny on other platforms, once again, the 75 days is coming up short. So if you want to continue to stay in contact with Danny, she does have a Discord. Make sure you go to her link tree and her profile and hit the little robot remote control thing at the top of her link tree. And that will get you into her Discord. There is a verification process to make sure that you are not a robot, you are real, and you are there for the right purposes. So make sure you go through all the process to get into her Discord. While you're in there, if you want to subscribe to her directly, in that verification process, there is a link that gives you to her subscription page that you can subscribe to her directly. And make sure you fill out the other link so that way we can connect your Discord to your subscription and you can get access to all the movie nights, subscriber channels, and everything else that is going on in there. If you are subscribed here on TikTok, at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can hit the star, hit the Discord, and then that will get you your subscription badge in Discord so you can be a subscriber over there as well.
Yay. Thank you, Phantom. I appreciate it. She was having a breakdown in the restroom, and I need to make sure that life was okay, that she was okay. All right. So I've told you all the things about her. I want to give her a chance to tell you a little bit about herself and about Rural Ground Game. Take it away.
It's very good to see you, Danny. I really prefer to be behind the scenes. So I am both terrified to be here, but also I hope to be in a place where we all recognize that what we need to do now might involve a little discomfort. I'm a little uncomfortable being out front and public, but I was listening to you before I came in talking about how what we need to be doing is people who look like me, quite frankly, need to be out here communicating a lot more than we have in the past. I'm more comfortable behind the scenes helping candidates and campaigns. We've been initiating a lot of voter contacts here in Virginia this year, specifically focused on people who haven't voted in at least 2 of the last 4 elections, and reaching out to them to let them know about these Medicaid cuts and SNAP cuts, and basically kind of get a vibe check to see if they are animated on this issue, if we can learn things from them about where they stand on that issue, and encourage them to share their personal stories. So we've heard a lot of really difficult but inspiring stories about what Medicaid and access to SNAP has meant for people, their families, their neighbors. And we're encouraging people to try to allow themselves to meet this moment with their own maybe personal discomfort and dig deeper to find the courage to talk about these things.
Okay, so we are having audio problems. Do me a favor.
Yep.
Use your mic on the computer. Mute this one on TikTok, and let's see if it's better. I'm going to see if the mic is better. No, Doug, it's not you. And so, yeah, so now just unmute yourself on the computer, and I'll turn my volume up over there.
How's this?
Oh, no. Nope, you're echoing. Something's not muted. Mute your.
What about this?
That's good.
That's happening now?
Oh, that's good. Everybody can hear that good now? Yes. Yeah, that's good.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, it wasn't you. It wasn't you at all. So at the very last minute, I asked her to join the Restream link and TikTok, and I knew we might have to figure out the audio. She only needs 60 more followers, you guys. Hey, go make that happen, you guys. So let me just okay, so if you click her box, guys, she's up at the top. She's Huckleberry. So see the cow? She's Huckleberry. She's at the top above Phantom on the panel on TikTok. So you can follow her. Yep, follow Huckleberry on the panel. Yep, that's her. So talk to people when you say you're reaching out to voters. So my understanding is Rural Ground Game has been really fortunate to be able to do a phone banking for this election, right?
Yep.
So talk about your choice to go after voters who are registered to vote, but they didn't vote in the last two elections, and why go after that particular group of people that used to vote, and did they have a political leaning too?
Yeah, so in Virginia, we don't register by party, right? So we have an open primary process. So we can't just look at somebody's voter registration and know which party they're with. Often campaigns are talking to the same set of voters. The way campaigns operate is whoever's turning out, I think of it as like watching a little kid's soccer game, right? Everybody's crowded around the ball and nobody's really paying attention to what's happening on the other parts of the field where something could break loose. Like that could be the game-changing thing is making a play further out in the field. I don't actually love the sports references when it comes to elections, even though I just made one, because none of this is a game. This shit is real and it's getting more real by the day. But I think that visual can be helpful in recognizing that we just aren't engaging a ton of people. And if you look at this last election, more people decided not to vote at all than to vote for Trump or Harris. So
you now have 200 followers. Watch this. Turn your camera on TikTok.
Okay.
Don't turn your mic on, just turn your camera on. Everybody's excited. They're literally going, she's at 200.
Oh no. What have you gotten me into?
Oh, it's such a good thing. It's such a good thing. And you do such good work that people need to know your face. You need to follow, you need to have followers. Thank you, Dad Jokes, for subscribing. Like this is a thing.
It's still saying access needed.
Okay, you may have to restart. Okay, guys, can we do without seeing her on they want to get behind you? Just make sure everybody follows her. Keep following her. And then here's what we will do. I will bring her back again as well, because they can still see you because I've got the camera turned this way. So they can see both of us in this cute little box, and it's going to be just fun. Okay, so you were saying that you guys are, and you're right, between you have, so for those of you guys who have never had anything to do with political campaigns and elections, the name is Huckleberry Hollow. And let me just tell you, so you have the coordinated campaign, you have the Democratic Party calling, you have the candidates team that's calling, you've got all of these different campaigns sharing the same data a lot of times and targeting, pretty much the same people. But I love this strategy that you're using when you are talking about people that are registered to vote but not voting. So when I did the top 100 rural counties,
Yep.
This is what I kept telling people. I was looking at the number of registered voters in those rural counties that had not participated. And oftentimes that difference was enough to make up whatever seat we lost, whether it was the Senate seat, a House seat, all of those types of things. So how is that going so far?
Yeah, well, to your point, Danny, one, when you identified those localities in Virginia, we partnered with the Rural Caucus here in Virginia and our mutual friends there, and we ran radio ads in those targeted districts. And some of those flipped. Some of those flip blue. And just for context, on the group of voters we're targeting currently, this is a little over 300,000 voters in Virginia. The last time we had a crack at the governor's race back in 2021, we lost. And we lost by a margin significantly smaller than that 300,000. This will not be the only group of voters that we concentrate on and focus. We'll be reaching a lot more folks, but the interesting experience that a lot of our volunteers are having is that these conversations are challenging because our volunteers are super engaged. They're living and breathing this every day, and they're talking to people who are, I don't want to say they're not engaged. They're not inspired to be part of either side. And a lot of the things we've heard, Danny, would not be any surprise to you. You know, both sides are corporate. It doesn't feel like anybody's really looking out for me.
Yep.
And you're hearing people in pain. You're hearing public school teachers, for example, who have dug into their own, you know, meager savings, if they have any at all, to store food in a closet in their classroom to feed the kids that they see every day. They know, like, they have been trying to haul people, you know, out of the stream because we aren't bothering to fix the systemic issues further upstream. They know what this will feel like. We've talked to people through these calls who, again, haven't voted in at least 2 of the last 4 elections, and some of them are healthcare providers. So they know. We've spoken to someone who works in a rural nursing facility. Some of these folks haven't been voting, and it hasn't been real clear to them who is on their side. I
Right.
think what we're trying to do is draw that awareness. We're finding, like I said earlier, that, you know, about half the people we're calling don't know that these cuts are happening. And the largest number of people who either know about the cuts or don't know, wherever they fall there, they don't know who's responsible for it. They don't know. We have got a teeny, like 12%, and we've talked to a significant number of folks at this point where I feel like good about the trend of this data and communicating about it.
Yeah.
We've talked to like well over 600 folks, and we're going to keep going. But they don't know who's responsible for this, and only about 12% of them are identifying Trump and Republicans as responsible.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy. So ruralgroundgame.org is how you find out about the work that they are doing. This is my personal opinion, and let me just say this: I don't know anybody else. Yeah, you got people over on Facebook saying follow Inland Lee, people on TikTok following. I love that. This is a thing. So let me just tell you, and we talk about this a lot. I believe the leaders that we need out talking to voters have to be the people that are authentic, that don't want the spotlight, that are really good at just connecting with people. And that's you, right? You have a way of connecting with people. And that is why I was like, yeah, I need to get your face out. I need to get Rural Ground Game out. People need to understand what's happening. This is the first time Virginia has had all of the seats contested, right? So for the folks in Southwest Virginia, Terry Kilgore's got a challenger, right?
Yeah.
These are the things that
And not just a challenger, but like a fantastic human being who's been doing legit wonderful work in his community, like really a credible, fantastic candidate.
Yeah. See the difference? And she was not just a challenger, but been doing legit work. And so I tell people all the time that when people talk, they have to be believable, right? And I will tell you that, is it just me, or when you all hear Lindley talk, do you not believe in her? You believe what she's saying, you know she's sincere, and that's why the work is getting done the way that it's getting done. So you and I were talking about cuts, and we had a conversation shortly after the House passed this bill. Everybody's saying yes, 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 yes on TikTok, and we specifically were talking about Medicaid cuts, rural hospitals, rural people, and just how absolutely devastating it will be for us. And just, I don't know how, but the people who live in our communities don't seem to recognize that very real threat, because between Medicaid and SNAP, holy hell, right?
Yeah. And the thing that we're finding also on these calls that isn't surprising, but it can be really hard for volunteers to hear, is people who are saying, well, I'm not on Medicaid. And they're immediately kind of giving off the vibe, you know, I don't really care. Our volunteers are trained to then talk about how, you know, the healthcare facility, the clinic that you go to, the hospital that you're expecting to be open, the nursing home facility that your parents and grandparents are in, those things are at risk. So understand that, like, when any one of us is at risk, we all are. And that type of like solidarity and understanding of community, you know, used to be, I think, a place where our party, well, I say our party, I want it to be a party we can be part of, but it isn't that yet. And I recognize that that's just the truth for a lot of people. That has to be earned. That can't be expected just because we aren't as awful as the actual fascist. But I want us to be there. And because we have some really fantastic, credible candidates on the ballot, especially for House of Delegates this year, I'm really excited about some of the wonderful folks that are running and stepping up to run. Those are the folks that I think can really deserve trust. They have community credibility. They've been doing mutual aid. They've been on the ground in their communities. They know what's wrong. And, there's that expression that I believe in with my whole heart, that the people closest to the pain need to be the ones in power. And we've got a lot of great representatives of that this year. We talked a little bit about this, Danny, but again, I don't love being out here talking like this, but I am trying to learn new things, which you're pushing me to do today, which is one of the many reasons why I really genuinely value you and what you do, pushing us to do more, to find our courage and do that together. Part of our work this year at Rural Ground Game is, to not answer the question that everybody's asking, what's the message? What's the message? What's the message? Through our Storyteller project, we are going out and interviewing, I interviewed my dad, who was like a Reagan Republican US Army vet, got him straightened out in 2015. But, just talking to him about what it would mean to cut veterans benefits and getting a real personal account and positioning us to have a lot of communicators for our party. And I hope that's something your audience can hear and start thinking about. Like, I'm not comfortable doing this. We're doing it anyway. Be uncomfortable and do it anyway.
Yeah.
And whatever your personal experience is, whoever out there is listening, it really genuinely matters. It matters that you tell that story. They're trying to delete our history, and we have to keep telling it faster than they can take it from us. And we have to do that together. And you might not think that you have some heartbreaking, big story, but every little piece of this matters. It matters for ordinary, everyday people to tell their story. We need to dig deeper than just the big influencers. We need all y'all.
Yeah. So somebody gifted you a subscription to my TikTok. So now you'll be able to join the subscriber side of Discord because people want to talk with you. So I think that we should inside. I know Phantom's here. So in the Discord, if we can add like a channel for like Rural Ground Game or Lynn Lee, and where people can ask specific questions. If people want to participate and help phone bank, if people want to do any of those things, we can have a little channel for that on the other side. What I love about this is that you're calling people and it's June. Too often I have seen campaigns and the party wait until August and think that August and September is supposed to be the big push for an election that is happening the first week of November. And it's just too late. So I love the fact that you are talking to people early and that you're talking to them about values. So when you start talking to them about the cuts, and we're talking about Medicaid, what's her name on YouTube so you can follow her? Do you guys have a YouTube?
Rural Ground Game has a YouTube, and we will be building that. Danny's just laughing. Like I
that's on your face.
Yeah.
Rural Ground Game, Rebecca Littlebird. Rural Ground Game is what you want to follow on YouTube, and they're going to start building it out. So she mentioned what they're working on, and let me share this with you guys because I love this project. Those of you who've been following me, you will remember me talking about this very thing. Over time, I've been talking about doing exactly what you're doing. So I don't know if you know this or not, but Elise Stefanik in Michigan, her team has been collecting stories, right? And I said to Jay when I was there for the Rural Michigan Summit, I said, Jay, what are you all doing with the stories? Oh, well, Elise is reading them on the floor and she's talking to people. I said, who the fuck is sitting around watching congressional hearings all day long? You need to be getting the stories out in the communities where they're being told, right? If you have someone who's sitting down talking to you in, Washington County, Virginia, or in, Wythe County, Virginia, get that on the radio, get that on a billboard, get that on the TV, because people want to hear from the people that live in their communities, and it makes it real and it makes it honest. So could you tell people a little bit about the Storyteller program, the project that you guys are doing, and what you guys are planning to do with it all?
Yeah, definitely. You can check out a little bit more information and see some clips of these videos on our website at ruralgroundgame.org/storytellers. And life is happening. Life is just going to keep happening.
Yeah.
But the idea here is to, like I said, dig a little deeper, make regular everyday people the messengers. We really think the messengers are far more valuable than the message itself. That in our quest to find like the catchphrase or the slogan that a lot of people think Democrats need to have, and sure, maybe we do. I'm not against that. Maybe it's a yes and, but how do you find that? I don't think there's a lot of shortcuts. I think we have to have these real conversations with people that Danny, I've learned so much from observing you and listening to you. And this is hard to like coax real, authentic life stories from people. But we send people out with a tripod. We ask them to just use their phone. We give them a good microphone so that we have good audio quality. So these stories could ultimately be on radio as well. But we bring in this raw content from all over the Commonwealth, and the goal is to then convert that into 15-second, 30-second, 60-second, even 90-second clips that we can then distribute. We can distribute via social media, but also through targeted digital ads. We know that a lot of the social media algorithms are not really on our side at the moment because of the powers that be. So we're always seeking funding so that we can push past the barriers of the algorithms and make sure that the people we need to communicate with are seeing these, and we get past our silos.
Oh, hold on. What am I? Okay, I'm trying to. People are coming up, and I want to make sure that I'm muting them as they come up. Because, okay, yeah. So, girls, when you sing, just don't sing so loud, okay? You're doing great. And so, what we always say here is "life be lifing," and so we keep it going. So, y'all, then Lee and I both are country. So when we say rural ground game, it's not world ground game. It is really rural, RURAL, rural ground game. So somebody typed in the comments "world ground game," and I was like, Lord B, that's what we sound like.
Yeah, but that's what it sounds like when we say it.
It's rural ground game. Yeah. So RURAL. Okay. So the storytelling. So if you were going to tell me, yes, Jeremiah, country girls, we are. I tell people this all the time. I'm country. I'm just not Southern. Southern has a different thing that comes with it. So yeah,
I'm from North Carolina, and I live in Virginia. So I am Southern, but I moved away from home for college, and there was that piece that a lot of Southern people I think experience where we're ashamed of our accents. I went out of my way to kind of neutralize my accent, which is something I kind of, looking back, regret a little bit. But no, I'm at my literal farm talking to you from the northern part of the Shenandoah Valley. And yes, definitely identify as country. It was my comfort zone.
So talk to people, because Virginia, a lot of people don't realize that we do have a statewide election in Virginia this year. And you guys have an opportunity to do governor, lieutenant governor, AG. Yep. What does that look like for y'all, and who are the progressive candidates for the state?
Yeah, so we have a primary next Tuesday, right? So Abigail Spanberger is the Democratic nominee for governor. There were not other Democrats that filed to run. We have a whole football team running for lieutenant governor, and we have two Democratic candidates running for attorney general. Attorney general is one that I hope doesn't slip off people's radars this year. The Trump folks are really getting behind Jason Miyares, who is our current attorney general and is running for reelection. People like Chris LaCivita and others from Trump world are getting behind him. And that is obviously like a really, really critically important elected office to keep people safe. So really important that we don't take our eyes off all those seats. We need all of them. And then for the House of Delegates races, the 100 seats, man, the battleground that the powers that be typically focus on are up and down the I-95 corridor. So if you're not here in Virginia, what that looks like is DC, Northern Virginia area, down through Richmond, and then Hampton Roads area where Virginia Beach is. And then kind of the rest of the Commonwealth is a bit of the wilderness as far as the Democratic infrastructure goes. There's a lot of local folks, local Democratic committees that are really strong, really scrappy, really doing everything they can with incredibly limited resources. That's true of the candidates as well. But I would love to make sure you're aware of some of these House of Delegates candidates, Danny. Some of them in particular you might want to connect with directly.
Any of them are welcome to come and get on a live, get on a podcast. Any of those things they are welcome to do. 100%.
Awesome. Thank you. There's some really great folks running this year. And once we're fully locked in next week, when our primary is over, that we'll be in a better place to kind of point that out.
Yeah. So Virginia folks, I really want you all, because I think that Virginia can lead the way for the country. I think Virginia can show, and we've had surprises, you guys. We've had a big Democratic win in rural South Carolina in Lindsey Graham's backyard, right? The country is, good morning, Scott. The country is showing that it does not agree with this, right? This administration, this movement, and what they are trying to do. And, the more that people talk about, what's he going to do next? The question isn't that. The question is, what are we going to do to ensure that whatever he's planning doesn't happen, doesn't work, right? Do me a favor, Chino, don't spam the comments, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. And so, I think Blue Honey Pot. So somebody is asking in that, this ought to be interesting, Lindley. Oh God, I don't know if you want to answer this, but we'll see. Okay. So somebody is asking, what are your thoughts about the, yeah. What are your thoughts about who to vote for lieutenant governor in the primaries?
Yeah. This is a tough one. All right, so I have to preface this that because of the organization that we have, our rural ground game has to stay neutral in Democratic primaries. That's for a number of reasons. That involves our access to resources that we can assist Democratic candidates with further down ballot, and that gets risky when we weigh into primaries. So I do just want to let you know that it's not that I don't have a personal opinion. I'll speak a little broadly though. Okay. We have some choices, and I would really pay attention. All of the folks on the ballot live somewhere in Virginia. Might be a good idea to pay attention to what communities are saying about these folks, where they're from. So wherever they happen to live, might be a good idea to check out and see what local folks who have been experiencing these individuals for a time, what they might think about these people. That's my first bit of advice to anybody looking at the field and making their decision. The next bit that I would say is that really depends on where you stand on a number of issues. I personally am not a big fan of skill games. I don't love them. I don't love what I've seen, that the impact of skill games, what that looks like in my own community, where we have those. And to me, that feels like we are extracting resources from.
People want to know what skill games is.
Games. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks. Great question. So these are like gambling machines that are often found in gas stations. That's like the primary place that you'll see these skill games. It's a huge industry which has enormous and growing influence in Virginia politics. Everybody can make up their own mind about that. I think people should have a choice, but I also think these can be incredibly predatory and harmful for people. So that's just a personal take that I have. And additionally, something I personally pay attention to is where people are at on right to work, on labor issues. I think if we as Democrats want to improve the health of our democracy, what better way than like to fully get behind labor unions? That is democracy at work in the workplace, right? So if we are really about what we're supposed to be about, that seems to me like something that we would really want to put our full energy and focus behind. And I'd love to see Democrats get right on that issue and be about that for real. I think it harms our credibility when we aren't real sure where we stand on that. And it really, to me, shouldn't be hard.
Lefty Left Debbie is asking if you are also on Blue Sky.
Yes, but y'all, I am sorry. I am like super not active. I'm working on it, but a lot of my work involves getting in my truck and driving places and going to talk to people and not being on social media. But we are working on with some folks to partner and get us some more capacity as an organization to be.
So Lynn Lee is going to learn how to take a selfie or take a picture outside her truck and say on the way to such and such county to talk to the people. Then she's going to learn how to take a picture of the gorgeous landscape when she's there on the farm. And hey, rural Virginia, we got work to do. We're doing it. Like those little things take 2 minutes, and she's going to learn how to multitask a little bit. And still partner with other people to beef up rural ground game.
Not taking advice that I give to candidates. So
yes. Listen, they said if you will get in our Discord, in my Discord, they will get you right. And it will get you right. I will say this about our community. We have, yeah, baby. Yes. That we have a great community, probably one of, if not the best on TikTok in terms of support and following through. I got it, Jesse James. Yes, baby. Yeah. So people are now asking, do you have a Cash App for gas money? Because they would like to gift you gas money.
Oh, amazing. We can't do Cash App because we are a political organization. So on our website, ruralgroundgame.org, you will see a little donate button there. We are looking to support some of our story keepers. These are the folks that actually go out with the equipment to talk to storytellers. And we're wanting to give them gas cards. Most of these folks are volunteers. And so that would be wonderful and very appreciated. And I love that y'all are aware that we have to drive a lot of miles to do this work. So that would be enormously appreciated. So I'll make sure y'all do that.
We'll do. And so this is the thing. So yep. Cam said the socials and the website for Rural Ground Game are already in the Discord for everybody. So you can find it there. And they're saying on it, where can you sign up? Yeah. So go to ruralgroundgame.org, folks. Hit the donate button. They don't have a community on Discord, Phantom. I already know where he's going. They said on it. Yes, you got it. Perfect, guys.
Thank
I
you
loved
so
it.
much.
Yeah. So for folks that know, if you've ever lived in a small town or rural community, you understand that it's wide, right? And you might be driving a couple miles in between houses, sometimes more than a couple miles in between. And so it is. And so this is one of the challenges. Let me just say this. This has always been a challenge for campaigns and for candidates when we talk about mobilizing and having a ground game in rural communities. Now, the way that the Republican Party has gotten around it is they have the free, like, Epic Times magazine that they throw in everybody's newspaper. I don't know who funds that shit, but somebody does. And that's how they get around it. They put money into their rural, and it's not that the people go out there and talk to people. Nope. But it's they give them free papers and free flyers and those types of things. And so we've got it to get it. And this is what I was talking about. The progressives with all the damn money, because it ain't just George Soros that's a rich damn progressive person. He ain't it. Everybody else needs to pipe it up, loosen the purses, and get behind organizations like Rural Ground Game, like ruralorganizing.org, right? Like some of those folks that we know. So, John, I think is your donation connected to Act Blue?
So yes, and so there is Act Blue, but there's also a contribute directly link on our site. They're both there at that donation button. You do not have to go through Act Blue. There's also, if you click the contribute directly in that donate link, you'll also see a mailing address. A lot of people like to just send a good old fashioned check, and that there's a way to do that there as well. And I think, like, in terms of loosening the purse strings, like, we're big fans of rural organizing at Rural Ground Game. And something I think is really important is to look for receipts. Like, what are these organizations doing with their dollars? We're working to update our online web store. So the one that is there right now will soon be different, hopefully by the end of this month. That's where we're going to have things like our yard signs, our barn signs that are already out. We've got these billboards that are already out with a big chainsaw ripping through veterans benefits and Medicaid to try to wake people up to what's happening. And then, yes, we want to be talking about like, what are we doing as good neighbors to feed kids and fix roads? If you can see the sign over my head here, this is something that we've been talking about as a basic value, and something we should be working on.
So can somebody do me a favor? Can you grab the address that is on the Rural Games website and throw it also in the Discord, in the general chat, and on the subscriber side, so that we have all the information and we have like the address if people want to send regular checks. So if somebody could just grab that from the site, that would be amazing. Thank you, John. Got it. Okay. So you and I were talking about, I asked you the same thing I ask people is, what are the things you want to make sure that we talk about? And we've done a lot of them. But this Saturday, so you probably saw my post already. Nobody ever asked me about marketing. I would not have named this Saturday No King's Day because Kings sound very great. Thank you. Look at that. P.O. Box. It's in the chat. Love that. Yeah, love that. But I would have called it No Dictator Day and let people just have fun with that because there's so much you can do. Yes, that's so much fun. But so what are you recommending? Because I'm with people saying absolutely they can do those protests. I would not do one in DC because I wouldn't want them to try to. It just would be too whatever, right? So, so what are your thoughts around this weekend and protests and all the things?
Definitely encouraging people to go. I think in Virginia, we might have an affection for the No Kings concept because of our state seal, where we literally have a woman crushing a tyrant and knocking off their crown. This is some pretty fire. We're gonna lean into that in our merch store this year. But I agree with you. A different name would have been helpful. I am not an expert on protest safety. I've been to many protests. I do have a basic understanding of like things that we white people can do in terms of where we place our bodies. And this is something you and I were talking about, Danny, the concept of understanding that we live in a country under white supremacy and patriarchy that prioritizes property over people. Yep. And anybody that has dealt with law enforcement or an abuser, which is something that comes from my personal experience, we all understand fundamentally that property is prioritized above the dignity and rights of human beings. And that is something to not forget if you are showing up to these protests. If you can, make sure you're going with community members, someone you know. My dad, who is almost 80, he and my mom are attending a protest this Saturday. They're going to a community meeting. And again, this is like my formerly Reagan Republican dad. Yikes. He was like showing up to these protests out here knocking doors. But they're having a safety meeting today in their community about how to behave, how to be together, how to respond if something goes wrong. Those are really important conversations. I would say come prepared, stay vigilant.
Submitted. Love that. Donation submitted in the chat. Love that.
I encourage people to go. I think presence is really important. I think there's a lot of fragility on the other side. They don't like to see people out here pissed off and paying attention to what they're doing. That's why they got so mad about the concept of woke. They need people to go back to sleep so they can be up to the nasty shit they're up to. But if we're awake and we're showing presence and we're being out there, that demonstrates to them that we're here to put up a fight, and we're bringing everybody out to do that.
Yeah, they're handling everything in the Discord for you. So I love that. So one of the things that I will share with people, things that this is just my personal, and these are things that I learned when I went to Standing Rock, right? Because what people didn't understand, when I got to Standing Rock, number one, you couldn't do anything until you went to orientation. And it was like a 2-hour orientation. And then before you could go to the front lines, there was a training on how to be out there. There was training on how to lock arms the right way. There was a training about not covering your face. Believe it or not, folks, covering your face escalates the tension in the environment. So do gas masks. So doing those types of things do escalate because it gives the appearance of something that could potentially become more than what you would want it to be, that could become danger, correct. And so like we actually, when I went to Standing Rock, there was no, you're not doing gas masks and you're not wearing masks over your face or any of those things, because they heighten the tension. I mean, because imagine if you are a National Guard member, imagine if you are a police officer and somebody's approaching you and they're wearing a ski mask and all the other things, right? We see ICE doing it and we know that symbolizes to us danger, right? And so we don't want it to look that way. So I will tell you all this. I led a 257-day peaceful protest that no one could say a negative word about. And I did it by just ensuring that we stayed peaceful, that we didn't do things. We didn't block traffic. We just didn't do it, especially because it was a hospital system. Like, why the hell would you block traffic? But we didn't block traffic. We assisted people that had health issues or whatever. We did handwritten petitions, which were super impactful. And then we did lots of social media showing people what was happening. A lot of times what's happening is people that are protesting are filming the opposition. And when you film the opposition, you're filming the police, you're filming the whatever. And so it perpetuates just how yucky things are. If you're going to film those guys, film them when their shields are all the way up because they don't perceive danger and they're just lollygagging around having a damn donut or whatever. That's when you do that. But other than that, film each other, record each other's story, find out why people are showing up, and then share those stories. Like those are things that I would think about all the time, right? Yeah, Shauna, I went up the weekend in December when we had the big storm. That's when I went up. But you also told me that you have been listening to my Facebook friend and fellow poet, Michael Harriot, who I listen, he's not for the faint of heart. If you are not fully committed to the idea of systemic racism, you will have a problem listening. I'm just saying, but he has been, he's got a book out and it's an audiobook. It's a Black AF history, Black as fuck history. And he reiterates, what Black history is like. So one of the things, you tell me if you hear this, I hear this a lot from people in rural communities and small towns is, I don't want to put up my yard sign because I'm scared.
That's right.
And whenever I hear that, part of me gets a little like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. Because Black and brown people were scared the entire time, right? They were scared when they were on, Edmund Pettus Bridge. They were scared, you know what I mean? Like all the time. And so what I want is for people to be as committed to their protest and human rights as Black and brown people were to civil rights, because that's what is required.
Yeah. Right? And I think one of the many challenges with us white people is just not recognizing that it is and always has been our own survival on the line, that in upholding the oppression of others and participating in that, we're hurting ourselves. And, this is one way I'm trying to learn to share my own personal story. And I don't want to make this about me, but we are trying to encourage people to share their stories. So I'm going to do that just for a second here. I got out of a very violent marriage. And one thing I learned in coming out of that really I'm ashamed that I didn't recognize this before. But as I was leaving, there were Black and non-white women in my life. 100% of them said, "Get out. How can we help?" There were a lot of white women in my life that were telling me to stay, even though they knew my life was in danger. And man, that cracked something open in me that I wish I had understood before, which is that white women, we have been trained and brought up in this world where we are instructed to uphold white supremacy and patriarchy at the cost of our own lives. That is what we are doing. And that is individual and that is collective. And we just haven't understood that we are also chattel in some form. We are property in some form, not in any way to say it is at the same level, of course, to what we have done to other people. But we are that as well. And until we really recognize that and see that we also deserve to be fully human and have that dignity and take care of each other, and that really was a difficult education to know that there were white women in my life, even in my own family, that were telling me I was obligated to stay. But 100% of the Black and non-white women in my life, they knew what was up, and there was just nothing in the way of them recognizing, get out, and how do we do that? And I think when it comes to the protest piece, and showing up, and like you said, that fear about having the sign, that's why we've like tried to create resources like the sign you see above me here. There's a little passive aggressive piece into that. Good neighbors feed kids, fix roads. I want to credit Senator Danica Rome, who partnered with us on this message. This is really what she focused on her first House of Delegates race and state Senate race. If you don't know Danica, please by all means follow her. She's fantastic. And Rural Ground Game's been focused on this good neighbors message. Good neighbors fund public schools. Good neighbors fight for paid leave. Feed kids and fix roads. And the other side of that is, if you're not about that, maybe you're not a good neighbor.
Exactly.
But like this is a sign people feel safe putting up. And I want people to go ahead and say all the things out loud. But the reality is they might need a pathway to get there. They might need some steps along the way. So like, how do we offer those opportunities and then hold each other accountable for doing this, for showing up, for sharing our personal stories, and for showing up for each other by really demonstrating that, by showing up at these protests and planting a sign in the ground saying, these fascists are not the only ones out here, damn it, we are too. Yeah. And as these ICE raids are happening, we've seen those here in our community. This is a refugee welcoming community in Harrisonburg, and Rockingham County is the largest, sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
The largest agricultural community in Virginia. And I am thinking through the people in my life who are scared. I know someone whose child missed the bus on the last week of school. And I knew that this person with an uneasy immigration status in this country had to drive their child to school because she missed the bus. And I was aware of this and drove home a different route so that I could check on her. And that fear is real. This is happening. People are disappearing from our communities, and the rest of us who have some amount of privilege and some amount of security in this world, even though we are all at risk, we have to be talking about it. Because if you look at what happened in Missouri with Carol, I believe, who worked at the pancake restaurant in a very Trumpy county, those Trumpers are pissed off because they love Carol and they know her, and she's very human. And because they are telling her story, people in town, my understanding is, are wearing like free Carol shirts.
100%.
Like that is the personal storytelling.
She's
like
back home now.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Milford in Massachusetts, the 17-year-old junior in high school who plays sports and all the things, and they had rounded him up. And the I don't know if you saw or not, but the seniors that year when they graduated, they all, with their family members, with their teachers, in their cap and gowns, marched down to the town hall and said, "Free him. We want him home." And a week later, that kid is home. Yeah. And what does that show you? It shows you that when we stand up, they will chicken taco. They will. We'd have to stand up, right? And along what you were saying, so I don't know if you all saw this, I saw it, and I'm flabbergasted a little bit because I'm from Northeast Tennessee. So they have now arrested and pressed federal charges against two owners of a business there. I believe they're both of Asian descent, for having 4 undocumented workers. And they say that they were intentionally conspiring to keep them from being found out and to stay there illegally. And so they have pressed federal charges on these folks. And they said, oh, well, this is something that, we typically aren't aggressive about. The state of Tennessee is the legislature and the law in Tennessee. They are 100% Trumpers. Yep. And so that happened right in Greene County, in Northeast Tennessee. I just saw it either saw it late last night or this morning. So yes, we need to be checking in on our neighbors. We need to be using whatever kind of privilege you have, right? Somebody said this the other day, and it's so true. The impact of colonization and white supremacy has spread so far into so many places that it has infected pretty much all of us. And to your point, even white women. And that is why we have to be proactive in identifying those things, being self aware so that we can do our own work and then sharing the work that we're doing, because that's how. Now, on a personal note, because I love Lynn Lee. So Lynn Lee is not ashamed that she did not know sooner, because we do the best we can based on who we are and what we know at the time. And what we know in our head is not the same thing as what we know in our heart. We can know in our head that we need to leave, but until we know in our heart that we can do it, and we can do it and be safe, and we can do it and be okay, that's different. So we're not taking on shame that isn't necessary or deserved. Do not do that. You carry no shame in that, and in any of that stuff, not for how long you stayed, not for when you left, not for what he did. You have no shame in that whatsoever.
I'm gonna have to work on that, and I am working on that. I think the thing that bothers me more about it, honestly, is the bigger picture piece that I mentioned, just like seeing the systemic piece. And honestly, I don't think I would have left. Maybe I would have, but I think seeing Donald Trump on the national stage really brought home for me what I was experiencing in terms of patterns in my own home. And in talking to so many voters over the last decade, I think this is happening for a lot of people. I don't think that I am alone. I think that the behavior of that man and the enablers around him really hits home for people in a not just what they're seeing big picture, but maybe what they're experiencing at home. And if I could want anything for all of us, it is to be capable of more emotional intelligence. That's hard. There's not a like clean or non-embarrassing way to earn emotional intelligence. I just think like there's not a shortcut. You go through hard things, you struggle, and that, but we can help each other with that. But it only works if we're talking about it and we're willing to share. Because I think any story that any one of you has, I can guarantee you other people out there in the world can relate to it in some way. Whatever your story is, you sharing it will have a huge impact on other people, and it can't be left up to just a handful of celebrities and elected officials and influencers. This requires all of us.
100%. I always say, so one of my favorite people on the planet is Brene Brown. And I tell people all the time to go watch her TED Talk on vulnerability. It's the one where she's wearing the brown shirt. It's her very first one. Because that's where the work is. That is where, when we get to vulnerability, and we say it out loud, when we speak out loud, the things that shame us, the shame has to leave, because now you know that you're not alone, right? You're not I just had a conversation. I just had my therapy yesterday with my VA therapist, right? And I just had a CMP, which is your evaluation for your compensation and stuff for my military sexual trauma. And they had the records from when I had gone to the emergency room after this one incident. And as they're reading to me, like the details of everything that happened, I had only remembered like the last bit of it. I hadn't, but as soon as she's reading it back to me, I can now picture it all, like in full color. I can remember every bit of it, like all the things, And I said, what is wrong with me? Like, what in the world? And I said to her, I said, I think what it is for me is like, because they make you do like a personal statement where you have to You have to justify why you deserve to be compensated. And so I had to like write everything down for any occasion where those things had happened to me while I was in the military. And I said to her, I said, it's crazy, but I didn't even think to include that one at first. And I said, I think the reason why is whenever something happened to me and I somehow felt complicit or like I put myself in that situation, I didn't feel that it was fair to say I was the victim, even though I was absolutely 100% the victim,
That is how that works. That is exactly how that works. And I think I am guilty myself at looking at other people who are in a violent situation and wondering why did they stay, or like being judgmental and questioning their decisions, and then recognizing like how deep that sinks into your bones. That part of how this works is they convince you that it was deserved. They convince you it was your fault. If you have any little scrap of responsibility for it, the whole thing is on you, and that is how that works. That's why understanding Darvo,
Yep.
that pattern of denial and blame shifting that oppressors are so talented at, and then we bring it on board deep within ourselves. And I hate that you are having to re-experience that by having to write that shit down, because really all they should need to know is that you're a human being with a pulse who has served our country, and you really don't need to ask more questions than that. Of course, you deserve the support that you deserve without having to justify it further.
You know what's so crazy about the system, right? Is if I schedule an appointment, just like a regular appointment, I get a phone call reminder for that appointment. I get a text reminder for that appointment with the VA. For your evaluations for compensation, you get one letter that tells you the day and time to show up. You do not get a phone call. You do not get a text. You get nothing that says you have this evaluation on this day. And when you're seeing a VA doctor, when they diagnose you with something and say that it's military related, they don't automatically give you disability compensation. If you never apply for it, you never get it, even when your VA doctor says so, which is just crazy. But that's the system, right? Which is why we have so much work that we can do. We don't have to be the country that we are. I believe that we can. When I meet people like you, like I know that we are better than how we are showing up. We are better than how we are showing up. And it is going to take every single one of us digging in and digging in deep and locking arms and saying, you will not make us be what you desire. We will not be that. We are better than that 100%. People are more important than property, more important than corporations. We are better. So,
yeah, and I think with the protests coming, and you mentioned this, like your own personal protest and how the visuals from that and what the takeaways that people got from that, there's no perfect protest. If these are happening, things are going to go wrong in some spaces. But something for people to think about is that the takeaways, the opportunity and power we have is to show the contrast between what we are bringing forward and how we are showing up to support each other and what they are doing to us. And it is hard to go unmasked. And I would say I agree with you about the masks.
I think for people of color in this case, I think for people of color in this case, masks are fine. I think it would actually be amazing to see the white folks without covers and in front.
Yes.
Because that gives the right image, right? If you have several lines of white people with no masks, and then they are on the sides and the fronts and the backs of the brown people. And I will say this one other thing about protests. If you go to a protest and you do not come home with 50 new contacts in your phone that you can network with, that you can talk with, that you can, mobilize with, you're not doing it effectively. you've got to create networks and accountability with each other and share each other's information so that when it's not just that one day that we're there together, then we can connect online, then we can connect and do all of those things, right? So, guys, you can go to Blink, BLINQ. You can create like a little business card with your socials on it, and it will give you a QR code. You can put that QR code on your sign if you want. You can put your QR code, just take a picture of it on your phone and just let people scan it so that you all can connect together. So that's the ways to do that. So I want to be mindful of your time and tell you that you're always welcome back. And I want to give you an opportunity to say any last thing to folks about Virginia, about rural people, about the work that we have in front of us, anything that you would like.
Oof, no pressure. Thank you so much, Danny. I'm just really, really grateful for you, for knowing you, and for the work that you do. And thank you all for listening in and working through the bumps as I showed a lack of knowledge of the tech. There's a lot of things I could say about the elections and rural Virginia, but actually what I'd want to say is really just to everybody listening. Try to make sure you find your people, like Danny said. Really think about what you can do in this moment, because I keep seeing a lot of people say, why isn't this leader doing this, and why isn't that this celebrity doing that? And yes, sure, like we should ask those questions. Those folks need to be held accountable. A whole lot of them need to be doing a whole hell of a lot more than they are. But how are they going to learn to do that? They're going to only learn that if we are modeling behavior that we expect from them, if we are showing that to them ourselves, and bringing our own vulnerability, sharing our own stories. I do want to warn people that sometimes when you tell your story, particularly if you have gone through an experience with oppression or abuse from the system or an individual, whatever that looks like, there will be people who will push back. There will be people who then target you, because that's how the system works. They want you to shut up. They want everybody to go back to sleep. So if you're trying to wake people up to what's happening, some folks are not going to like that very much. And that's why it's so important. I love the resource that Danny just mentioned, so that if you're out at protests this weekend, you are finding a network of people who will hear you, who will back you up, who will lock arms with you, not just at a protest this Saturday, but if you choose to tell your story, that they will lock arms with you when you go do that. And just please believe that whatever you've experienced is meaningful. It is important. It is part of our shared story. And again, they're trying to take it away. So a way that we can fight back is to put more stories out there faster than they can do anything about.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is what I keep telling everybody. We've got to be the media. We've got to be the people that tell the truth about what's really happening in our world and in our communities and in our society. And Mila's choosing this moment to see.
I love it. Yeah, perfect.
I tell people all the time. But so listen, there have been times where the girls have been literally like throwing hands. And I'm like, can somebody give me a commercial break so I can go handle the girls? And then one of my moms will come up and give me a commercial break so I can handle the kids. Because this is my thing, folks. There's no perfect time to do the work. Life is never, listen, if people paid a livable wage, right? My daughter wouldn't have to work 2 jobs. I wouldn't have, the next Beyonce over here, right? But life, perfect is the end. So Brene Brown says this. She says, perfect is the enemy of done.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever perfect, right? We just have to be about the work. So I appreciate you, my friend, tremendously. I know some folks were trying to get me to Virginia, I think in July and August. I think there was specifically some stuff in Roanoke and some of the other places. So
let's connect about that, because I know some people that I've talked to about you who would love to help with that. So okay. let's keep talking about that.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm perfectly able, willing, and ready. So I appreciate you greatly, my friend. Love you much. Okay.
Love you.
All right. Bye. So she's gonna hold on, let me see. Look at that. Gone. Love that. And nope, I don't want to do that. I need to. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. La la la. Okay. And I know that I didn't wait. You all don't want to see that. She was amazing, right? I told you all you would love I told you guys you would love her. And she's amazing and all the things. And I need to turn my camera around. Okay. I think, yes, now I'm all good to go. I'm all back. I'm golden. I'm all the things. Just as a reminder, so that was Lindley Thorne from ruralgroundgame.org. She is awesome. She is amazing. This is why I told you, as soon as I met her in person, I was like, oh, she's my people. Like, she's my real fucking people. Like, I was super excited about that. I don't know why TikTok is doing this thing. It put this funky thing behind me. Oh, okay. Now it went away. Love that. Okay. So, she also, yeah, she is the best. She really is. Oh, she's your boss. She is the best, is she not? Yeah, love her. We got together and like they're doing some of the stuff, they're talking about the Medicaid cuts and things like that when they're talking to people. Oh, awesome. I love that, Kate. I love that. And so hold on, let me put this back up over here and then I'm done, I promise. But I gave them permission to use the graphics. So for those of you guys who do not know, in my link tree, so I have a link to my link tree that is in all of my profiles across my socials. When you are in my link tree, there is a little link and it says political resource materials. When you click that, there's a ton of information in there for you. And there is also a drive that says Medicaid resources. There's a folder in there. When you click that, there are all kinds of stats specifically about rural people, specifically broken down by state. I made those graphics. You are more than welcome to utilize them. That's what I told Lindley, and I mean that, with all sincerity for everybody else. So anything that's in there, the email templates that are in there, there's an email template in there on how to use those Medicaid numbers, those stats, and write your senators and your representatives about why this ugly ass bill should not pass. Okay. So make sure that you are utilizing all of those things. Before I move along, Stacey D in the place to be. So by the way, just so you all know, Lindley is still up on the panel in TikTok. I don't know how much longer she's going to be in there. She might not even realize that she is still there, but you can feel free to keep gifting her while she's there. But Stacey D, what you got for me?
Good afternoon, everyone. That was so amazing. And thank you to Lindley for coming up and just giving it to us real and raw and sharing and being so vulnerable. And I just want to tell her, piggyback what you said about we have no shame. And I don't know if she has children or not, but my mom got out of an abusive relationship. And I wasn't completely privy to everything that was going on, but I just knew it wasn't good. And I watched her struggle on the other side of it and what she did to get us where we needed to be. And it made me so proud. And it let me know what kind of stock I came from. And to this day, no is just not an option.
Right.
And without even thinking actively about my mom, when I slow down, I know it's because she was like, don't tell me no. Don't tell me no. I'm going to figure this shit out. One of my favorite things she would say is, one monkey don't stop no show.
Yes, my mother used to say the same thing.
Right?
Yep.
Don't let one monkey stop no show. Stacey, what are you talking about? We don't figure this thing out, right?
Yep.
So, love that. I would love to hear more from her about what exactly it is, what the conversation looked like when she talked to her Reagan voting dad.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think sometimes there's so much information, good information now that we are getting from you specifically. But when it comes down to just sitting down and having the conversation, I know you have well-trained us to start with questions. But when it's someone that you know intimately, sometimes those questions you may know the answer to, but what is it, the things you say? Was it one conversation? Was it 20 conversations? I would just be curious what her experience with her dad looked like. And then talking about the ad and phone banking, I'm curious. I know that you said there was data on yard signs that it generates, worth organic conversation.
Yep.
Is there data on door knocking and phone ads? Because I know that we were out there so much and people were so proud that they door knocked so many times and that they made so many phone calls. But on the outside, looking in, I know that a lot of people were like, if one more person calls me, if somebody knocks on my door one more time, I mean, we all grew up hiding from the certain religious group that would come to our doors on Saturday mornings, right? It was like, get down and don't move, right? So I'm just interested to know what the data says about the effectiveness of door knocking and phone banking.
Yeah.
I phone bank. I didn't have a terrible experience, but I'm just curious to see how effective it is. And then as far as ads go, I would love to see us do ads that are focused more on who we are, what's going on in our community, and less about trying to show a contrast with the other candidate in 30 seconds.
Yes.
Because you can't do it effectively, and it just comes down to what we all know as an attack ad.
Yes. 100%.
I think we over-index on showing people how horrible Donald Trump is. Look how scary he is. Oh, my God, he's going to burn it down. And he is, right? He's trying to, right?
Yes.
But sometimes I think, yes, we're all aware of all of that, but when I talk to people who are, I was with a good friend yesterday, I'm fairly certain that she voted for Kamala Harris, but she was like, I mean, it's just the hyperbole on both sides, and they're just painting these scenarios that turns me off personally. I just am like checked out. So I think she votes for who she thinks would be the right candidate, but she's just like, I'll do it. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And maybe we're not looking for her, but I think there's a lot of people out there that she could be at a tipping point, and that could be the thing that makes them disengage, looking at the numbers of how many people just sat it out.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, agreed. And so Lindley and I are also going to do an episode. We're gonna jump on a Zoom and do a couple of things for the podcast as well. So maybe I will touch on that and ask her about that conversation, with her Reagan Republican dad and what that was like. I know that Kate was in the comments and said, mine was also Republican and it took a lot of conversations. So we'll touch on that, and maybe that'll be another opportunity for us to have like a get together and to have, conversations. That's one of the reasons we're doing the workshop. The workshop that we are doing next week on the 17th is about influencing your friends and family. And what I want to do in that particular workshop is to role play quite a bit about these conversations with you all, mirroring like what you think your family members would be saying in response to these things, and just like cold off the cuff and doing it so that you can become comfortable with how to address those things and be able to flex and move with the conversation, then bring it back to where you want to go. Yep.
Absolutely. I love a good role play.
Me too. Yes, I do. I love them.
We can get in Discord. We can set up a role play Discord channel and just be like, whenever you feel like, okay, I'm going to a birthday party, and I know that there's a bunch of Trump voting or Republican leading. Not that you're going to be in like enemy territory, like
right.
There's no Confederate flags there, but you're like, I want to take the opportunity. So I want to do this right, because you don't have another chance to make a first impression.
Right.
And the first time you come out too hot. Next time you come over to get some potato salad, they might be like, let's move along.
Yep. And so listen, guys, the workshop is on the 17th. It is free. It is for subscribers and non-subscribers. It's free to everyone. The link to RSVP is in my Discord, in my link tree. In my Discord, Jesus, it's in my link tree. It literally says new workshop. It is okay. I'll put you in the tub here in just a second. So you guys should be able to do that. What now? Okay, well, you gotta wait 1 minute, honey. Okay. Phantom said it can be in Discord. Yeah, but I also want to do another one fairly quickly on immigration. I want to do a huge workshop on immigration. I'm going to see if Rollo is available to join or not. I know that he is absolutely covered up these days, but we're going to see what happens, right? I do want to take a moment to celebrate a win. We have to celebrate wins when they happen. So listen at what has happened today at 10:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Supreme Court sided with a teenage girl with a rare form of epilepsy on Thursday in a unanimous ruling that could make it easier for families like hers to go to court over access to education. The girl's family says that her Minnesota school district didn't do enough to make sure she has the accommodation she needs to learn, including failing to provide adequate instruction in the evening when her seizures are less frequent. But lower courts had ruled against the family's discrimination claims in court, despite finding the school had fallen short. That's because courts in that part of the country required plaintiffs in lawsuits against schools to show officials used quote unquote bad faith or gross misjudgment, which is a higher legal standard than most disability discrimination claims. The family appealed to the Supreme Court. The district OCO area schools said that lowering the legal standard could expose the country's understaffed public schools to more lawsuits if their efforts fall short, even if officials are working in good faith. The district also argued that all claims over accommodations for people with disabilities should be held to the same higher standard, and a potentially major switch that would have been, quote unquote, a 5-alarm fire for the disabilities rights community, the girl's lawyer said. So the Supreme Court decided in her favor, and yay. So we will take the wins where we get them, right?
Yay, absolutely.
Yeah. So everybody knows that the hearing is happening right now about the National Guard being in California. So I'm not sure exactly, when that decision is going to happen. I would imagine it to happen, fairly quickly. But it is happening, right now. So I do have news pulled up just in case. But yeah, Penny G, I'm glad to see it. So let me touch real quick and see Miss Natalie Lee, what you got for me? And did you mean to request up? Okay, gotcha, Stacy. Natalie? I don't think you meant to. Keith Jones, good afternoon, sir. What you got for me? Maybe Keith did not mean to request up.
You probably got a phone call right when he was about to talk.
I think that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Hey, Nance, how are you? Well, okay. Well, we're going to go to Jen. Yeah, go ahead, Phantom.
Kate and then Lee, I know that y'all have everything settled out and stuff. I know Discord is new to y'all, but it is another free platform that you can use to get your
community,
your company and your voice to other people, like the gamer side of the community. Because I know there's a lot of gamers out there and they do use Discord a lot. And you are able to do free advertisements on Discord to branch out to other people that you are not able to reach in person.
I love that.
If you need help with that, I don't mind helping. I don't charge anything. Danny will tell you.
No, yeah. Listen, Phantom is my saving grace because he does everything in my Discord, and ain't no way I could have paid him for everything he's done. But no, yeah, he's incredible. So if he's offering services, yeah, go ahead and handle it. Yeah, Phantom's amazing. We love Phantom, so appreciate you. I'll let her know too in case she's up there but not listening. But I will definitely let you know. Let me pop real quick to Miss Cheryl, because I know that you want to come up in reference to the disability thing, I would imagine. Talk to me.
That's one of the reasons. I'm not turning the camera on today because today's my off day and I've chosen to dye my hair and I look funky right now. But anyway.
Works for me.
So there was two things. One, I wanted to touch on that, but I also wanted to speak real quick. You were talking before she came on in regards to the seat thing on Craigslist. Like you, I was curious. I went and looked back when I saw it. I can't remember if I saw it last night or this morning, but I checked. I did find it on Craigslist. But what I noticed is, Fight, I knew was a real thing because I looked at that once before for something else. But the T Melon events that is mentioned at the beginning,
yep.
I could not find their existence anywhere. So that was one thing that I was like, okay, they're going to mention the event company, but they don't exist. And two, The other thing I thought of, the only contact is the cryptic Craigslist email that you can reply to. Usually when it is an organization or something, they're going to provide you some kind of contact information or link to their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they would mention this event place or company that doesn't exist anywhere with no contact info made me kind of skeptical of it being real. But you never know with these people. So I was like,
yeah, you have no idea. I have no idea either. I know that there's now a story about it in Newsweek, and there's a story about it on the Economic Times. And let's just see real quickly if they've reached out for comment from anybody, because that would kind of give us I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't know that they would even say it was theirs if it was. You know what I mean? So Newsweek contacted Craigslist for more information on the post via email, and they have not replied. Yeah.
Well, the fact they mentioned all these organizations, it sounds like they're not trying to hide something, but then yet the organization isn't. I mean, I could not find them anywhere.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Some people think that it may be a fake ad also because the image used in it is actually of Russian soldiers. So maybe, I don't know. But then again, like sometimes I just go, is Don Jr. that smart, or would he possibly use that photo? Like, I just don't know. So
exactly.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
I bring it up because it just teaches other people too ways of looking into things. Like when you see stuff like that, what do you look for? What do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I know you touched on some, so I thought I would point that out. It's just it's getting so it's so hard to figure out what's real and not real anymore.
And I think that's the way that they would like for it to be. Let me also tell you the fuckery coming out of Washington right now. In the last hour, Trump signed a bill blocking California's ban on new gas-powered cars. What in the world? And then, of course, the state has already filed a lawsuit because the state is like, fuck you, you can't tell us what to do. We're a state and we have state sovereignty. But in addition to that, Pete Hegseth has actually said that the Pentagon has contingency plans to invade Greenland if necessary.
Okay.
Wow. That makes no sense to me. How are you going to be for giving power to the states and then running over the state?
Right. I just can't. I can't. Okay, so let me just tell you what happened. So, and Panama, by the way. So there was a hearing. What is today? What day is today? Today's Thursday? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So there was a hearing today about his use of signal chats, right? To discuss military operations. And Democratic members of the House Armed Services Committee repeatedly got into heated exchange with him, which we could expect, right? With some of the toughest lines of questioning coming from military veterans, which you would also expect, as many demanded yes or no answers, and he tried to avoid direct responses about his actions as Pentagon chief. In one back and forth, Hegseth did provide an eyebrow-raising answer. So Representative Adam Smith from Washington asked whether the Pentagon has plans to take Greenland or Panama by force if necessary. Quote, this is Hegseth's response. Quote, our job at the Defense Department is to have plans for any contingency. And he said it several times. Now, it goes on to say, he doesn't say this, but the article says, it is not unusual for the Pentagon to draw up contingency plans for conflicts that have not arisen, but his handling of the questions prompted a Republican lawmaker to step in a few minutes later. So Representative Mike Turner of Ohio said, quote, it is not your testimony today, that there are plans at the Pentagon for taking by force or invading Greenland, correct? As Hegseth started to repeat his same answer about contingency plans, Turner added emphatically, quote, "I sure as hell hope that is not your testimony," end quote. And Hegseth responded and said, quote, "We look forward to working with Greenland to ensure that it is secured from any potential threats." And then, what the fuck? And then Representative Salud Carbajal snapped, quote, "You're an embarrassment to this country. You're unfit to lead. You should just get the hell out," end quote.
Well, they put him in there.
What? The absolute fuck.
He knew exactly what he was going to do.
I mean,
Put him in there anyway.
Y'all, do they not realize the world is watching this shit? The world is watching.
I don't think they care.
No, I don't think they care either. So I'll just tell you, there's a DOD directive 1344.10, right? And it's a military regulation on politics. And apparently he was asked what that directive was, right? It's a key instruction to service members on what political activities they can and cannot do while in uniform. He could not tell them what that directive was, but said he was, quote unquote, sure that he was familiar with it. The multi-page document outlines what speech, donations, or participation, including showing up at political rallies in uniform, service members cannot do. Questions arose about the regulation after members of the 82nd Airborne Division at Bragg this week were directed to stand behind the president at Fort Bragg and boo and cheer various incendiary remarks by Trump, including against former President Joe Biden. A pop-up MAGA merchandise stand sold souvenirs to troops in uniform, and all the things. So he doesn't know what the damn regulation is. Jen, you want to comment on that?
It's the same regulation that federal workers have, i.e. the Hatch Act.
Oh my God.
It blows my mind. So 2 things just came up in the news that I wanted to make you aware of. One was the court case for California just started. The second one was Democratic Congressman Padilla in California was just forcibly removed from the DHS secretary's presser.
What the heck?
I just watched it on the news. It was live. What I kind of wanted to, while you're looking that up, because I don't know if it'll be quite out yet, but it should be. I wanted to kind of circle back to my earlier comments. I don't know if all VAs do this, but the VA that I go to here, they have a program called moral injury that a lot of service members have. The stuff that's going on today, that causes
moral injury. Yeah.
It hurts you deeper than anything that I've ever been through before.
Yes.
And if you love your country as much as I do, to see what the president is doing to it is abhorrent.
Yeah. So this is about when someone violates their own moral code or witnesses a betrayal of their values or is exposed to events that challenge their sense of right and wrong. I will tell you right now, I have been told a number of times about my moral injury playing a significant role in my life and the work that I choose to do.
It's why I spent 12 years in the military, because I wanted to serve my country, and then another 8 years in law enforcement because I wanted to serve my community to make it better. We don't get into those jobs for pay. We don't get into those jobs for clout. We don't get into those jobs to make a name for ourselves. We do it because we want our communities better.
Yep. 100%.
We want our families' lives better and our friends and random people out there. And what Lee was talking about, I a long time ago learned that I am as white can be, and I will admit that. because I am gay, because I come off mask, because I had to remove parts of my body that were trying to kill me, I get discriminated against on a daily basis when I leave my house. So I am intimately aware of some of the struggles of the brown and black community. And I would put my body in front of them in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And that's the way I feel. Like, for me, it was an honor. I was, to go to Standing Rock and have an opportunity to be of service to, Native Americans, to the indigenous. I felt the same way. Yeah. So I hear you.
And I'm all in my feels today, which sucks because I hate feeling the feels.
Yeah, but you and I both know that feeling the feels is necessary. So yeah, it's okay to be in the feels. I think that right now for a number of veterans, right? I think a number of veterans are in their feels over what we see happening. Yeah, I don't know how people are going to respond to all of these things, but what I can say is that I don't think they counted on so much of the country saying absolute fucking not. We are not going back to that. That is not who we are, and you can't make us that.
Oh, and now they're saying that not only was he forcibly removed, Democrats, I don't know if it's Senator Padilla was arrested.
Oh, good Lord.
This is just bonkers.
Hey, can I talk to the disability thing real quick? Because I want to have to go get this stuff off my head soon, so I don't turn pink and purple everywhere. So it's gonna be crazy. But so as we're talking, all the different things that they, are working to strip away rights that people have fought for. This was listed, and I came across. They want to rescind new construction requirements related to non-discrimination in federally assisted programs and activities. And this is posted by the Department of Energy. It was posted on May 16th. And what I've read and what I understand about it is they're trying to remove the necessity of companies that get federal assistance or provide federal activities, federally funded activities to the public when they have new construction, or when, say, you already are building and you're doing rebuilding, like building on, remodeling, that sort of thing, that they do not necessarily have to, they want to get rid of the rule that they have to do anything to make it accessible to people with disabilities.
What?
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
I need you to read it and see if that's what you think, but that's what I get from reading it.
Okay.
They're trying to say that, you know how they word it all the time, one size doesn't fit all, but yet they're getting rid of a rule completely, not changing it, removing it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And saying that it's burdensome and money on these people, but these buildings should be accessible to everybody.
Right.
And they're calling for, it's one of those where you can put public comments, and it goes through. I don't see anywhere where it tells you how much public comment it has to get that's negative comments, but it automatically goes through. I'm trying to find the date here. I think I posted it. It's effective July 15th. If they are not receiving adverse comments in time. So like we have until July 15th to get our comments in.
Okay, Cheryl, people are asking where to find what you're talking about at. So I'm on disabilityscoop.com is where I'm at. The notice is on the U.S. Department of Energy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's regulations.gov is where I'm at.
Okay, so let me show you. So hold on. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you
I
guys.
can tell you which one. HQ
2025 00015 001.
Yep, exactly that one.
Yeah. All right. So let me show you guys what Cheryl is talking about really
I
quickly.
did post it in Discord with the link. I also have it on my Facebook page, and it's public. So if you find me, I have it publicly there too.
Okay, so this is it. And it's rescinding new construction requirements related to non-discrimination in federally assisted programs or activities. And so, in summary, this DFR rescinds certain new construction requirements related to disability non-discrimination in federally assisted programs or activities. The final rule is effective July 15th, 2025, unless significant adverse comments are received by June 16th, 2025. Significant adverse comments are ones which oppose the rule and raise, alone or in combination, a serious enough issue related to each of the independent grounds for the rule that a substantive response is required. So what you want to look at is the final rule. Let me see if they've got it. This is the general discussion. Review, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and in my comment, I provided documentation links of people who fought for exactly this and why it was needed, and you know what I mean? Like, I didn't base it on my personal, I based it on
so I would
can upload stuff. You can upload links and things too.
Yeah, so I would do both. So like if it were me, I would do both of those things. I would absolutely talk about this, and then I would do it from like the historical point and why this is necessary. And then I would also do it from a personal perspective as well. And you got to try not to say, because you guys are dumbasses and you want to hurt disabled people, you got to say it different than that.
To your class. Right. You know, that's how I look at it. Like, I'm presenting a presentation to a class.
Right.
I'm just giving facts and information without the emotions.
Okay. Yeah. So I will review this in detail, Cheryl. And then what I will do is maybe provide some sort of guidance in the Google Docs and then cover it later this evening as well. Like, I'll hop back on a live. And
I appreciate it.
Yes, this is a national thing, Jeremiah.
I didn't see anywhere where they were correcting it or making changes, like, maybe updating it. None of that. Like, literally just getting rid of it. And that's the part that's alarming to me. So, anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. So guys, this is a federal thing. This is not a, so just so you know, this isn't a state thing. This is a federal thing. So everybody across the country should be responding to this.
And even if you don't have physical disabilities where this affects you, you don't know when you ever will.
Right. 100%.
We all deserve access.
And it affects your grandparents too, the elderly.
100% it does. And so I immediately think about, because it says in federally assisted programs or activities, right?
Yeah.
So I think about Social Security automatically.
Yep.
I think about them adding to Social Security buildings, remodeling them, whatever, and not having to include ADA access.
Yep.
That's immediately what comes to mind when I think about this. I think about Medicare. I think about Social Security. I think about all of those things right off the bat. Yeah. So
you also have to think about educational facilities that are federally funded too.
Right. Yeah. Can you imagine trying to get a wheelchair into a building without ramps? Yeah. So I want to, I'll dig in and do the same thing. And then, me, we'll scream it far and wide.
We're running out of time.
So we are. Thank you, Cheryl. Next time, girl, you got to tell me that it is time sensitive.
All right. Well, I know we have so much. You've got so much going on. So do I. I mean, like everybody, we just got so many things to focus on.
We do, but this one's important too, and
it's very important.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to send it to a bunch of physician friends of mine as well. So
Perfect.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
I appreciate you helping getting out.
Yeah. Awesome. You know that. Absolutely.
Okay.
I got you. Okay. So really quickly, I want to do Always My Grace. Did you have something you wanted to share with us? Always My Grace. Always. Nope. I'm guessing you were just tapping and found your way here. Killer 85. Good afternoon. What you got for me?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, no, I voted for Kamala. I have a teenage daughter, so I live in a red state, obviously. You can tell by my accent. But yeah, I'm a blue dot and a very red drop of,
Well, you sound like people back home from where I'm from, and I'm from Tennessee.
I'm from Arkansas.
Yeah. So here's this is the recommendation that I make for people, right? Is a lot of times, like in Tennessee in 2022, only 39% of registered voters actually voted, right? Do you know what percentage of voters in Arkansas voted?
I'm sorry, I should have pronounced her name right. Kamala.
Kamala. It's just the way, you know how I remember it is I just think of like a comma, like period, comma, and then la. Kamala. Yeah,
Kamala.
you got it.
Okay.
Let me see.
Thank you. Sorry, chat. Sorry.
Voter numbers for.
Forgive me for my Arkansas accent.
No, you're good. No worries. So here's okay. So, where did I just go from the thing I was looking up? Jesus, Pete. Okay. So, okay. So now this is going to be cool. So population of Arkansas.
3 million?
Yep. It's 3 million. So get this. The population of Arkansas, you've got 1.8 million registered voters. And of that 1.8, you had around 600,000 that did not vote in 2024.
I believe it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a red state. Everybody knows where it's going to go.
But see, that's the thing. I think a lot of times people make the mistake of not turning out because they think it's a red state. But imagine, what if those 600 people are actually people that are Dems and they think they're just a blue dot?
Just for reference, I actually carried several people to voting with me just so they would vote.
Yay, we love that. Not so loud, sissy. She's talking to the cat. But so just, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, ma'am, it's your live. You go ahead.
No, so this is what I was going to say is, so just remember, when we talk about I'm a blue dot in a red sea, you probably aren't. There are probably a lot of people out there that just think their vote won't matter. And I bet you money in a lot of those local elections and state elections, y'all could flip some seats.
Yes, ma'am. And I kind of have the same mentality, but I also do know that I need to vote.
Yep.
Whether it's going to matter or not, we vote.
Yep, 100%.
And, I have a teenage daughter and I have a teenage son, and I definitely voted for their interests because I was raised way different than this. My dad was military, and my mom, this is not how this operates at all.
No, I'm military as well. And I love the fact that that you are doing your part in carrying people to vote. The reality is we got a lot of work today. And I just think that I believe that the majority of the country isn't like this.
I do see some change starting to come from some people that, were diehard, let's get this going. Let's start, and I'm like, Y'all have no idea what's about to hit.
Right.
Because they don't read. Nobody reads anymore. You got to read the fine print.
Yep.
And if you don't read the fine print, guess what? When something happens and you didn't know about it, guess what? It was in the fine print.
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
Anyway, I just want to come up here and tell you thank you. I listen to you. I'll follow you.
Love that. I appreciate you. I hope you come back and participate in our community and join the Discord group. We do a lot in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Aw, he's so polite. I love that. Okay. So here's what I got to do. I am going to go feed this child. So my super Trump neighbor, they remove their Trump signs and sticker. Oh, I love that. Yay, Cheryl. Okay. Listen, folks, here's the deal. Been on for 3 hours. Gonna take a break. Gonna cook. Is my accent coming out? It usually does. After I talk to other country people for a really long time, you'll hear it. Or if I'm really mad, you'll hear that. 100%. So it is what it is. Okay. So a couple of things before I take this break. No worries. Okay. So let me say this, folks. Listen, I'm going to try to come back tonight. And all of that. I just need to feed Mila and the kids and do all the things, right? So I need to do that. And then I want to come back and dig in some more because we haven't gotten all the way into some of the things that I did want to talk about today, right? Let me stop sharing. I just pulled up a bunch of stuff. Y'all saw me typing while this person was asking questions, didn't you? Mimi, hold on, because I'm getting off so that I can feed you. So don't act crazy. Appreciate it. You would think that she is starving. She's not. She had eggs and bacon for breakfast after physical therapy today, and she's had a snack since then. That girl is not starving. She just likes her groceries. Okay. So when I say this, make sure that you go to my link tree, that you sign up for the free workshop that is happening on Tuesday, the 17th. It is for everyone. There's 100 seats available. I just posted it yesterday. So make sure that you sign up for all of those things. This one will be about influencing your friends and family. The next one after that will be a workshop on immigration. So make sure that you are there for that. Folks, listen, we got a lot of work to do. If you are, there was something else. Oh, the Danny Cook Show, the podcast. I absolutely need everybody to go get caught up on your episodes and engaging with them and in the downloads so that I can get it back up to where it was previously. Need that to happen so that we can make these things happen. There were still 80 seats available. Yeah, I just posted it yesterday. So 80 seats left, people. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, Jesus. RSVP to the free workshop. It will be done via Zoom. So you want to make sure that you are there for that. We're going to be doing a lot of role playing in that one so that if you have people in your life that you want to talk to, if you have people in your life that you're frustrated by your conversations and, and you're like, I don't know how to talk to these people about this or about that or about whatever, right? This is your opportunity to really get into the meat and potatoes of how we do those things. Okay. We can do this, you guys. I promise you. And we are doing it. Let me not say we can do this. We are doing this. You can see that by the protests that are happening all across this country. We are doing it. If we weren't doing it, they would not be working so hard to shut us up. Listen, if protests didn't matter, they wouldn't be working so hard to make us stop doing them, right? If what you are doing, what didn't matter, that the algorithm wouldn't work so hard against us, right? So I just want you to remember that if we weren't powerful, they wouldn't be worried about it. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's something that people don't think about as often as you should. You are powerful. We are powerful. And we are most powerful when we are all together doing the work, right? This is the United States of America. What does that mean? That means that we have states that have their own sovereignty. We have a constitution that we are all united behind. That's what it means. We all united in agreement with that constitution. Yeah, I know, Jennifer, we talked about it. I'm waiting to see the official stuff all about it, right? But listen, this is the part that I really want you all to think about. That is a balance. That is a delicate, much needed balance that is needed. That's how our democratic constitutional republic functions. We function by a joint effort of we function by a joint effort of state sovereignty, right? And we function with those states being unified together in a belief in the Constitution, not in a political party, not in one person, not even in a religion, people, not even in a singular religion. Listen, we don't do that here. No dictators, none, right? And no dogma. Bella went to sleep. No, she's not asleep. Okay, so listen, no dictators, no dogma. Just so that we are clear. Follow me on the socials. Make sure that you catch up on my Substack and the podcast. I said, okay, girl, you are whiny. Is it nap time? Watch her. See, she left me alone when I said, is it nap time? Because it is. Because it really is. All right. So, yeah, you guys are almost to 500K. We'll hang out for one more minute so you can hit 500,000 likes. I appreciate you all tremendously. We are powerful. Please get into the resources that are available to you folks. Please They are available for you to use and effective. What? She is asleep. Well, why don't you take a nap with her? Bella's taking a nap. I said, girl, take a nap with her. All right. I appreciate you all greatly. I am out of here. I will see you all hopefully later this evening. And if not, right now I can sign off. Love that. And if not, bright and early tomorrow morning, because I have nothing else. And we hit 1,000 shares. Go Donna Ski. Go all my sharers. I appreciate you all. Love you, mean it. We are amazing. See you later. Bye.